podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Errol Spence, I hope you're hungry, that I've got plenty of chocolate brownies ready for you.
I can't wait. Errol, you excited?
Definitely.
Kel?
Of course.
This is what it's all about.
Let's get it on.
You don't give a what, we don't give a what.
Bring whoever you want to bring on, I'm ready. You made a big mistake, Mike.
My slogan is man down. Kell Brook know what time it is.
Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. You want to start something, it's gonna be something.
Man
you want to
down.
start something, it's gonna be something.
I'm looking forward to chucking some chocolate brownies at Spence.
What is a chocolate brownie? What is it?
One of these, there. Watch what happens.
Let's get it on.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Listen, today we are back with the Errol Spence versus Kell Brook big fight. And yeah, we're going to be talking some boxing here. We're obviously going to break down this weekend's fights. We have a lot of fights to discuss. In fact, outside of the Errol Spence 12-round welterweight title fight for the IBF that belongs to Brook, we got a couple of other exciting matchups that we're going to toss around. George Grove is in action with Fedor Chudinov, and even David Allen, the White Rhino, he's back versus Lenroy Thomas, a former stablemate of one-time Keith Thurman. Michael Conlan, the Pride of Ireland, is going to be making his second fight in a 6-rounder in Chicago. And we got Alex Acedo as well. We got to start mentioning the young guy. He's keep racking up some wins. And none other than Mike Alvarado is back, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to talk Mile Mike. And he's actually going to be back in Boca Raton. We got Zilly Zhang Bang taking on Curtis Harper in an 8-round heavyweight fight. Curtis Harper is the guy that gave, I believe, Chris Arreola all he could handle, if I'm not mistaken, on a PBC fight. But Zilly Zhang Bang, that big Chinese heavyweight, and I hope I'm right with the Chinese thing. Now, it's obviously not the Golden Boy one. It's not him. It's another big guy signed to the Rock, I believe. Speaking of Rock Nation, we got Wellington Romero. He's a Dominican, signed to Rock Nation. He's in the junior welterweight division, and he's going to be fighting as well on that same undercard with Zilly Zhang Bang, signed to the Rock. He also trains at a Glenn Tapia's gym, a gym that we're training at, getting ready for Border Wars, so you know we had to mention him. Now that you know what we're talking, I know you're all here for the Brook and Spence stuff. I know.
Y'all getting it next, boy.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Are you actually going to win before anybody else is getting it? But look, let me head on out to the Golden State, home of the Hipster.
Dolady Biasi production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the Hipster's here everywhere. Big fight. I would say the biggest fight or of the year, I would say. You know, it's up there with the Danny Garcia Keith Thurman fight. It's up there for me, at least as a fan of the sport, up there with Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko, and it just has that big fight feel to it. I don't know if this is going to determine the number one welterweight in the world. I know some people will say that, especially some callers will say that. But whatever happens Saturday night, it's big. And I think, you know, what's happening in the UK, you know, our condolences and prayers to everyone that's in Manchester and what's happened there. They need sort of a big moment. So if Kell Brook goes out there and beats the boogeyman of 147, I think that would do a lot of good things for the UK just in terms of morale and spirits. They need a win in a sense, and I'm just hyped. This is a massive fight. So can't wait to chop it up with everyone, the callers, with you, Ness. It's gonna be a good show.
Definitely, man. The wait is over. I had to do an immediate reaction because the final press conference was just that good. It got a little hostile in there. Errol Spence, I don't know if he has fans in the UK or he brought them over from the big state of Texas, but there were guys in there screaming man down, without a doubt. It definitely was interesting, to say the least. Now, Matt, you know what I think is going to be more interesting than today's picks is tomorrow's show that we're bound to have, because there are so many talks of whether Kell Brook looks thin or Errol Spence looks drained, or you got, guys like Tony Bellew telling our UK correspondent he doesn't understand how either guy is making the weight. They're both boiling down. There's a lot of, I guess, bearing on this weight, and can both guys actually make it? Everyone that you watch who's being interviewed is mentioning the weight. Like, wow, there's some big welterweights. Those are big welterweights. How are they making the weight? Is he going to make the weight? Even in this press conference, that was the theme from the chants in the crowd, make the weight, make the weight. So I don't know.
I'm not that worried about it, I'll be honest. I don't think any of them are drained. I don't think either guy is in bad shape. I think they're probably in the best shape of their career, especially Kell Brook. I have no reservations about the weight. I know that was a reservation at the beginning of this process and this fight and the negotiations because of Kell Brook ballooning up to 160 and him looking very big at 160. And obviously all the speculations on Errol Spence being a very big welterweight and exceeding 160 plus for fights. I just don't think it's going to be an issue. I think we're going to get two guys in the best shape of their career, arguably both in their prime. One's in the middle of it, I would say, with Kell Brook, and one's just entering his prime with Errol Spence. I don't see weight being an issue at all, me personally.
Another thing, I don't know if you got an opportunity. I know you were Sleeping Beauty this morning, but Earl had on some all white Huarache Nike sneakers on, and that height differential that we thought was there in the initial press conference, it didn't seem to be there. And again, the crowd was trying to get in his head, and you could hear the chants, take the sneakers off. He ain't that tall. Take your hat off. Take your sneakers off. I mean, this crowd definitely was getting hostile. It was hilarious. I definitely love these big fights and the big fight antics that come with it. But what do you think about size difference?
I think it's probably going to be very equal. I think both guys are very muscle-bound welterweights, I would say. And you have to think about this. Errol Spence has fought guys like Leonard Bundu, who is a very small welterweight, and Chris Algieri, who was a 140-pounder. So his last couple of fights have been guys that are smaller in comparison to him. So he has looked massive. He has looked like this destructive force, this unrelenting power in the welterweight division, mainly due to really good matchmaking. And while Kell Brook has fought the monster of boxing, which is Triple G, a middleweight, so 2 divisions higher than him. So I think that's why we had that initial reaction, especially at the original press conference with Errol Spence wearing dress shoes and such, giving him obviously a little bit of height help. But these guys aren't that big. We thought there was going to be a big size difference because we only saw Errol Spence with small guys and we saw Kell Brook with big guys. We saw him with the Sean Porters. We've seen Kell Brook with Triple Gs. So he looked smaller in comparison to Errol Spence, but that's not true. Both guys are probably the same size.
Speaking of size, we're talking a little bit of the numbers, the stats. Let's check out these stats courtesy of Throwdown Scoring. It's the pre-fight stats, and it's an overall of, I guess, an average of their fights, Kell Brook and Errol Spence. And these numbers are pretty even, except for opponents thrown, obviously, because Kell Brook has more opponents. but the 92% connect ratio that has landed on Kell Brook, can we say that he has the better defense, or is that because he has more fights to bring that overall number down?
He would have a less defense because his opponents are connecting at a higher rate than Spence, right? So Spence would be the one that's the defensive wizard just based off the numbers, right?
I don't know. Even though it says that he has opponents have landed 194, that's my question.
I think those numbers may have been entered incorrectly because it makes no sense how the opponent thrown and the opponent landed are very, very different. Usually the thrown needs to be higher. So like opponent thrown is 319 compared to 92 for Kell Brook, while it's flipped for Errol Spence. I believe that might have been a typo.
Yes.
The 194 should be opponent thrown, and the 40.3 should be opponent landed.
Correct.
That's why Errol Spence has an opponent connect percentage of 20.8, and Kell Brook has a percentage connect ratio of 28.9. But again, I think that's obviously in comparison to who they fought. I mean, Kell Brook's toughest fight before Triple G was Sean Porter, a fight that really didn't have a lot of connecting punches. There was no effective boxing really in that fight. It was a lot of smothering and clinching. You know, so I mean, there is a lot of disparity in these numbers due to competition, in my opinion. So it's very hard to base style and who is better at what off of these numbers.
You know, there was a previous
eye test.
There was a previous conversation about that eye test, resume, and all that. But I think that, you know, if we could, we need to try and, I guess, curve the conversation away from resume, because it could be a rabbit hole unnecessary of getting into. You know, we could argue all day back and forth about which man has the better resume and compare wins and losses. But I mean, the fight's about 48 hours away. Why do all that? Let's just talk about the styles. You know, I went back and watched that fight with Sean Porter and Kell Brook, and he does well with the guy who comes forward. He's not necessarily a fighter, Kell Brook, who fights on the back foot. Not to say that he can't, because he definitely showed at least spurts of that in the Gennady Golovkin fight. But in the Porter fight, he stood his ground, and he allowed the pressure of Porter to work against him by just waiting for him there, maybe offsetting him with the jab and then following up with the straight right, or going underneath with the uppercut. Do you think he's, you know, I mean, Errol's style kind of plays into that. Errol likes to be in the fire.
No, it's very different with Porter. Porter likes to be on the inside. I would say Spence likes to be within boxing range. Do you understand the difference?
I hear you.
And I think based off of that the distance that Spence wants, Brook won't be able just to clinch him very easily like he did with Porter, because Porter was much closer to him and wanted to be much closer to him. Spence wants to be a little bit closer to the outside in actuality. His straight shots are his bread and butter, and his counter uppercut is something else. So, I mean, Spence likes to work from a distance. So does Kell Brook. These guys are actually very close to mirror images of each other in terms of what they want to do in the ring. How they do it is a little bit different. Kell Brook is a little bit light on his feet. Kell Brook is also, in my opinion, a little bit cleaner, or even, I would say maybe even more a little bit pretty or cute. His jab is a little bit more nice, in my opinion. His overall game, I think, is a little bit more put together.
Well, he's more of a boxer, in my opinion.
Spence, in my opinion, is that Marvin Hagler type, where he's more of a mauler in a sense, like you said, but he likes to do it from distance. He likes to do it with single shots, hard shots, technique perfect shots. And, you know, I don't think he throws shots wild like a Maidana, for example. His shots are very clean and efficient, but there's a brutality to his shots that aren't there with Kell Brook. Kell Brook is more of the boxer, in my opinion. Plus his footwork helps him do that. He's way lighter on his feet. Spence is a little bit flat-footed, in my opinion. I think this fight's really going to come to, can Spence cut off the ring? To me, that's the most essential question to this fight. Yes, there are questions about Spence's chin, maybe, because he really hasn't faced a a power puncher, and Kell Brook is probably the hardest hitter of his career so far. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. I just don't believe it. Spence trains with middleweights who are knockout artists. So I don't think his chin is an issue in my opinion. So it's going to be about Spence, in my opinion, is going to be coming forward, applying pressure. Kell Brook's going to be on his back foot, similar to the Triple G fight. Obviously, I think he's going to have way more success because Errol Spence isn't Triple G. I don't think Spence will be able to cut off the ring like Triple G. But that's the question, can he?
I don't necessarily think Triple G was even cutting off the ring. Marty Sway wants to know, well, he's actually saying, time to prove yourself, Spence, and asking where's Casual. Casual's at work in the home state of Pittsburgh Brew. Yeah, I agree with you on so many points. Obviously, I agree. I think Kell Brook is the boxer. I would consider maybe Spence a boxer puncher.
Yes.
An American version of Margarito, probably a lot more skilled, but that seems to be the game plan. Come forward and destroy, rip the body, break your man down. Speaking of man down, in the buildup, he's been promising a knockout. If this were Keith Thurman or, another seasoned champion, I wouldn't question whether or not this could affect him, but it's not. So I am. And can it affect him to get caught up in looking for the knockout instead of just the win? When Kell Brook is asked the very same question, are you going to knock out Spence? He said, well, I definitely have the power. I'm big enough, but I want the win.
Yeah, and I think that's a better attitude to have from Brook's side of it. And like you said, when you're a come forward boxer, when you're trying to force the knockout, you are inevitably going to open yourself up to counters. And Kell Brook is actually a very efficient counter puncher. His timing, his accuracy, his reflexes are pretty good, pretty top notch, in my opinion. So that is going to be an issue. But in my opinion, I don't think Spence has ever really gone insane in the ring in a sense, like punching himself out. Like I've never seen him unload on somebody that I was like, whoa, he needs to probably slow down. He doesn't want to exhaust himself. He is very efficient in his cardio and with his output too. So I don't know if we're gonna get a Spence that is headhunting and doing sloppy work because he hasn't shown that to me.
Well, I mean, looking for the knockout doesn't necessarily mean sloppy or headhunting, but he's definitely trained to throw more punches than I think Kell Brook is used to. I know that everyone is going to get blinded in his last opponent in Gennady Golovkin, but Gennady doesn't throw that many punches per round. Not that he throws few, and definitely his count. But, we've seen Errol work, bro, and this guy is nonstop for sure for the whole 3 minutes of the round, whether that be sparring or whether that be hitting the bag, whether that's in the fight. And he's also mentally putting pressure on you in the manner in which he cuts the ring off, which is something that you mentioned that is going to be one of his keys to victory.
But pressure isn't about volume. It's about consistency. Like, he is not the guy to overload you with 100 punches a round. That's not him, in my opinion. But he's going to throw 60, 70 shots around, and all of them are going to be clean, picture perfect, and they're all going to do some damage, and the accuracy is going to be good. Everything's going to be efficient. So it's just different. Like, I that's why I just don't see him opening himself up to counters as much as maybe Brook fans are thinking.
Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit up that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show and make sure that these phone lines stay lit and you get international opinions and predictions here on this show. What else here? You mentioned the timing, which is something that I had to go back and rewatch the Porter fight. It's such a difficult fight to watch with all the holding, but you can find value in the way that Kell Brook uses the jab and the timing, not only of the jab, but of all his punches, especially that jab and right hand, though. Which brings me to something Derrick James said in the final press conference about Leon Spinks not having the resume or experience when he stepped in there with Ali and defeated him. So Earl's never seen or been in there with this kind of a monster. How could he overcome that timing? Like, not only is it Kell Brook's timing, he has decent power for a middleweight. You know, you heard Thurman's opinion of Kell. He feels he's one of the better welterweights. You know, so he's got the decent power. He has technically straight punches, good timing. You said it, light on his feet. How does a guy with no experience, or not no experience, but less experience than his opponent, kind of pull off that upset a la Leon Spinks?
Well, that question by default leads to resume. Leads to, well, what has he done so I can prove it? What evidence do I have of Spence doing, as you say, overcoming basically adversity? That's basically what you're saying. Can he beat a guy that is better than him in a sense? Because Brook is better than him in a lot of different categories. He is. So how is he going to overcome that adversity? Maybe overcome a 12-round fight, which he's never been in from my knowledge. So those are questions that we have to go to resume to prove our opinion on. And the problem is that he hasn't done it yet. This is his proving ground. It is this title fight. Similar to like a Gervonta Davis. Like he is similar in that way that it is hype still. He has not proven this status yet. He has proven some stuff. You know, he's definitely proven that he's a contender. Definitely proven that he's not just a prospect. But he has not proven he's elite. He has not proven that he is a champion yet. This fight is going to show that. And unfortunately, we have nothing to base it off of. And I think the people that are picking Spence are doing it because they believe in something. They have faith in what the eye test they've seen from Spence, that he's going to show in this moment that he can overcome this matchmaking or this opponent. And again, it's based off belief. There's nothing to prove that theory. That's why it's very hard for me personally to pick Spence, because there's nothing for me to go back on and go, yes, this is 100% shows me that he can last a 12-round war. He can last from getting knocked down in a fight. He can last from getting a nasty cut. I have nothing to show that.
That's why this fight is so interesting. Now, you know what? It brings me to another point. Gervonta, or Gervonta, right? It's Gervonta Davis or Tank Davis, not to screw up the name. Tank Davis receives a lot of credit for being one of the youngest champions, for capturing a world title so early. But he had a different path. Some would say that the path that Earl chose is one that most fighters wouldn't. But there's no accolades behind this win. He's not going to be the youngest, champion. He's not going to be the first champion out of, Texas or Dallas or Houston. I mean, should we, the fans, put more, I guess, recognition and give him more accolades if he can pull away this win?
Talking about Brook or Spence?
Spence, obviously, right? We're talking about the young guy taking on the champion.
Brook, who a lot of people think is probably a top 3 welterweight in the world. All the hype's proven. 100%. I think
but what about the naysayers, Matt? What about the people that are going to say, oh, well, Brook is drained. He went up and he couldn't make that weight properly?
That's not what naysayers are going to say. Naysayers are going to say he had his orbital bone broken by Triple G. He needed a tune-up. He was thrust in there way too quick off that injury against a heavy hitter. Blah, 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 blah. That's what naysayers would say, and it's just not true. I'm sorry. You can say that, Ness, or callers, you can say that. I just will think it's bullshit and not address it, personally. The winner of this fight deserves every accolade they get. Same with Brook. If Brook were to beat Spence, that's huge. That might be bigger than beating Danny Garcia. In a sense, for the welterweight division. It might. From a fan's perspective, beating a guy like Spence, who everyone thinks is feared in the division, that adds way more, I don't know, credibility to your resume than beating a Danny Garcia, who a lot of people don't think is an elite welterweight, unfortunately.
But Matt, I did a show earlier, and most UK callers were saying Errol Spence is green. He's never been in there with someone like Brook. It's too soon.
That is true. Not that he is green. That's not true.
Wait a minute. It's too soon. You never been in there with someone like Brook. He's green. So how could you turn around and put him on a pound-for-pound list if he beats a contender?
I never said put him on a pound-for-pound list. Pound-for-pound is stupid. Let's not talk about pound-for-pound lists. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We can talk about the welterweights and where does Brook rank amongst welterweights off this win. But to rank him pound-for-pound, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole of an argument or a debate. That's a bullshit line of a debate. I just think that whoever wins this fight deserves credit. Fact. This is a major fight. This determines who is up there with Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. In some people's eyes, I will admit this: if Brook wins, a lot of people are going to be saying Brook is better than Keith Thurman. That's going to happen.
Okay, but if he beats Earl, it has to be a competitive fight, right? For at least him to receive the credit that he should get. Like Earl needs to look like the truth.
So you're saying, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, I agree with you. I agree.
I mean, how would the world receive it if, let's say, Kell just blew through him Kevin Bizier style, Jojo Dan style?
I honestly don't know. I think that's a very interesting question. I think you will obviously get a mixed reaction. You're going to get people that go, Spence wasn't real if he were to knock him out in the first 2 rounds or something like that. But I think you will also get people going, wow, Brook is special. Like, he just shouldn't have gone up to 160. Like, that, you're going to get people saying that. Like, he just shouldn't have gone to 160. He is actually a great welterweight, and he was on the way to doing that until he, got stabbed in the leg and fought some no names in the UK and then fought Triple G for no reason. You're going to get people saying that as well. I don't know where I fall in it personally because I haven't really thought about it enough. But I think that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, what else do we got here? All right, so we're gonna open up the phone line. So we're gonna get through.
I'm gonna make my pick. I haven't made my pick yet.
Wait. Slow down. We're gonna open up the phone line. So what we're gonna do is get through these other quick, I guess, honorable mentions, things that definitely need to at least be discussed, and then get to you guys because we know you're here for obviously to make your pick. And damn, Marty Sway had another comment that we had to highlight. We let that kind of go away, and it's now Igloo does too. I don't know. Can you find it? Oh, there goes Igloos.
I'm doing other producing stuff.
I'm with the hipster on this one. Whoever wins this fight is the man at 47. Whoever wins will beat Thurman. TBV. It's kind of frustrating for me to hear things like that from people. I know you said it yourself, and it's a little odd for me. I think that the total body of work of a one-time Keith Thurman is a very good overall resume, and then if you throw names like Manny Pacquiao, that resume is all the way at the top. It's just all the way at the top.
We have to get to a point where we don't include Manny Pacquiao in this discussion because his legacy is so great and so set in stone that it doesn't even need mention.
But he's fighting, bro. He's in this division.
No, it's like, obviously he's an elite. Like, we don't need it. Like, obviously most people would say he has the best resume at welterweight. That is 100% true. So to compare guys like Thurman and Brook to Manny Pacquiao, I think is just not accurate. That's like comparing, new rappers nowadays to a Pac or Biggie or a Jay-Z. Like, you don't do that. Don't compare these new guys to the greats. They're in their own separate category.
Hey, man, I hear you. But they're in the division, and the casual is going to do it. They're going to automatically compare them. But, Thurman, I think that for anyone to say that Brook, with just the win over Errol Spence and Porter, is better than Thurman is insane.
I'm not saying I say that, but people.
No, I know that people will, but again, I am just going to put out the facts. Like his overall body of work since stepping on the scene, and in retrospect, looks very, very good. From the very first fight when he was 17-0 on HBO versus Orlando Lara, where he made that infamous call out of Mayweather with half the world laughed at him, to the next fight, moving up to 54, taking on Carlos Quintana, the only guy to drop Paul Williams that I remember, right? I mean, probably someone else dropped him, but whatever. He dropped and beat Paul Williams. Jan Zavik, the guy that was giving Berto hell. And I know in retrospect, people say, well, Ness, Berto never amounted to nothing, but these names still mean something, especially as a combination all together. The next name, Diego Chavez, Soto Karass is still out there fighting. Isn't Kamagai's, famous? And he's going to be fighting for a WBO title versus Miguel Cotto. And his 2 fights that made him famous were versus Karass. Julio Diaz, someone that dropped Khan. Leonard Bundu. Errol Spence's claim to fame because he went 12 with Thurman and Earl stopped him. Everyone gives Earl so much credit. Robert Guerrero, again, decent name. I know people say he's over the hill, yada, this, that, and the third. Still, he made Berto Chinese. Luis Collazo, we seen what he came back and did to that young prospect, Sammy Vasquez. And the same win that Kell Brook has in Sean Porter without clinching. Then the Danny Garcia win. So even if you want to say like, oh, well, he's got the Earl win, like, damn, you telling me that it's okay. I don't want to get into arguing with the world. Let's just not argue and say Danny is not better than Earl, no matter what. Not based on resume, not eye test, nothing. But is he not at least comparable in resume, Earl and Danny? I mean, it just doesn't
Danny
make
has
sense.
a much better resume than Earl.
Excuse me?
Danny has a much better resume, especially if you're including 140 than Errol Spence, obviously. But
that's what I'm saying. So the logic that the winner of this fight is number 1 in division is fucking insane, is all I'm saying.
What about the argument that they're top 3?
Absolutely. The winner of this fight, he makes himself a key player, and we want to see him versus the other guys. But to say that he is the man, you can't make an argument for it. You can't. The same thing happens if you try to make the argument that Errol Spence becomes the number 1 welterweight if he beats Kell Brook. Well, people would argue and say, well, he just got his orbital bone broke. He had to go up to 160, strip down muscle, come down to 47. His only win was 3 years ago. What are you talking about? He got a three-peat. He got a three-peat like Marquez and Pacquiao, and he's not Marquez or Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He's got another rematch in there with Carson Jones. You can't do that. You can't do that. Is he going to be top 5? Absolutely. These guys will make themselves top 5, top 3, whatever you want to squeeze them in, even if you want to say they're all number 2. But to say that someone is number 1 is very hard to do. Very hard to do. They need to continue to mix it up the way that they're doing it. The way that Brook and Earl and Thurman and Porter, they've mixed it up. We got that barometer. We got that gauge right there. I like what's going on, but I can't say anyone out of this fight is the number 1 welterweight. And then I have to mentally exclude Pacquiao because his legacy is set in stone already. We can't talk about Pacquiao, even though he's fighting. Come on, it's ridiculous. These comments that people make. Look, it's a good fucking fight. Let's just enjoy that and then hope that we get something great from it.
Yes, I agree. Maybe not as aggressively as you do, but
passionately.
But my official prediction on this fight, I'm going for Sheffield's own Kell Brook. And
he's looking for friends, this guy.
I'll be honest, I'm very conflicted. This is one of those fights where even yesterday I was conflicted. This morning I was conflicted. It is a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. I think that Kell Brook is going to use that footwork to his advantage. I think he is just a little bit better in these very key categories of boxing. I think he's going to win a points decision, especially being in his own talent. I feel like it's going to be very hard for Errol Spence to win decision there, especially if it's a close competitive fight, which I think it will be. I think Kell Brook is going to be tested a couple times in terms of his chin. I think Spence's power is real, but I think Brook is a lot tougher than what people think he is. I think he's one of the toughest guys in the division. He took Triple G shots. I mean, he did. He took them. I mean, obviously his face was broken in, but he took them. He was still standing. That is something impressive in and of itself. And my heart wants to go Errol Spence. Having seen him in the gym, I think he is sort of the future of that division. But maybe this is a little bit too soon. I think he needed at least 1 or 2 more fights before this that were a Diego Chavez, that were a Jesse Vargas, that were guys of that ilk. Or he reached guys like Kell Brook and Keith Thurman and those guys. Again, very, very tough decision for me. I'm going Kell Brook to win on points, to outbox the truth, Errol Spence.
I'm ready to let my arms go. These brownies, I'm ready to, release them.
That is, I think I expected that. I think I really did. I think that the smart pick is on Kell Brook and his ability to box, but he's a betting underdog. And I wonder what that means. Marty Sway with another check-in. Spence and Triple G need to prove themselves. No, prove they're the best. Excuse me. Spence and Triple G need to prove they're the best, TBV. Thumbs up, 100. Wow, so you're going with my man in Sheffield.
Yeah. Did I steal your pick?
Did you steal my pick? No, if I picked Kell Brook, it wouldn't be fun. They need a bad guy, and I am that bad guy.
You're not the bad guy. You're not the bad guy.
Another bad guy like me.
Bad guy. Okay, we are a predominantly U.S. show. That is just a fact. We have about 30 to 40% of our listeners are from the UK, so we're predominantly a U.S. show. I just got eaten up in the chat for picking Kell Brook and not picking hashtag man down, hashtag strap season, hashtag the truth, Errol Spence.
Oh, that's right. You shouldn't even be allowed back in Texas, yo.
Hey, Spence and your team, if you're listening, I love you. And I'll be honest, I kind of want you to win. I want to eat some crow. Because if you win, the welterweight division gets very interesting.
Yeah, what if we don't? Yo, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Very tough fight. This is a very tough fight. For all the guys in the division that would give Errol Spence one of the toughest fights, Kell Brook is that guy. Similar to how I was talking about Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford the other day, about Sean Porter, if Terrence Crawford would move up, Sean Porter being the toughest fight in the division for him from a style standpoint, Kell Brook could be that for a guy like Errol Spence.
Well, I think that I'm so used to picking with resume. I'm always used to doing that, right? Like, I'm a victim of that. Like, oh, this guy, and you guys are like, no, it's the eye test.
Stay in your lane.
It's the eye test. I just, I got to be consistent.
Wait, if you're consistent, then
I've been picking against Brook since probably the Carson Jones rematch, bro. Because when Carson Jones broke his nose, that upset me. And it's kind of stuck with me. I didn't understand, and I get it though. Now over the years, I've understood that Kell Brook is more like, yo, I can't get up for Carson Jones. I can't. He could get up for Spence. I understand that. But there isn't any getting up or not getting up for Spence. He's always up. He never lays down. It's the opposite. It's man down. So I'm going to ride with the youngin'. I'm going to ride with the youth. And there are just so many intangibles in this one, man. I mean, I know you want to make light of it, but moving up in weight, putting on all that muscle, looking as great as he did. We thought he was a monster when he went up to fight Triple G. You know, and on top of putting on that muscle, he got himself hurt. he got himself hurt, and he was getting hit with sparring with headgear, man. We don't know how that eye is going to react under 10-ounce gloves, not 16s or 20s, no headgear. And consistently, like you mentioned, the pressure is consistent from the young Spence. And now he's going to have to prove it, like everyone has said. And, Keith Thurman's quote is the best. Let Earl prove he's the truth, and let Brook prove to me that he is special. Because I do like partially what he did in the Porter fight, but that was 3 years ago and 120-something clinches. I'm just not good with that. It's time. Jojo Dan and Kevin Bizier and whoever else he slid in between there. And, the Triple G fight is just something that's not even worth mentioning. I just want Brook to show us what he's got and Earl to do the same. But I'm going to go with the Texan for sure.
Fireworks, rocket launches, chocolate brownies.
He going to be rocket launches and chocolate brownies, he's saying. I love him, though. Yo, he's a good, he can build up the fight. Kell does. I like him, man. He's
a good guy in the sport. To be honest.
He's definitely sellable. He's definitely sellable. He knows how to sell the fight. Listen, let's get through these other quick topics. Groves, Fedor Chudinov. You're the hipster here, man. Chudinov, who's his last fight? Did he win? Did he lose? How's this going? Because
I don't remember.
Groves, I've been not. Yo, I used to be so high on Groves. Excuse me?
They've been trying to do this fight for like a year, so I've sort of.
Well,
I checked out.
I've always been high on Groves, right? But then he just keeps looking bad. Keeps looking bad. I know you hipsters think that Chudinov is good. Is he good enough to get this win or what?
No, I don't think so. I think George Groves is going to show that he is still a top 10.
Well, I'm going Chudinov anyway because Groves looked really bad versus like mediocre competition. I mean, he keeps switching trainers. He's like our version. I don't even know who to compare him to over here in the U.S., but someone that fucking changes trainers, comes up short, almost has the skill, but never kind of lives up to that. And somehow this guy stays fucking relevant, floating around, getting shots. I mean, do you remember the Jay Leon Love fight? Didn't he fight Jay Leon Love?
George Groves?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. But Fedor Chudinov did lose his last fight to Felix Sturm.
Oh, God.
But
Felix Sturm at this age. Jeez.
It's in Germany. Just to throw that out there. Not throwing any accusations out.
That's what I'm saying, fam. Ali, like, yo, Groves is still fighting. That's what I thought. I thought Frotz retired this guy.
No, he had the Badu Jack fight, which was unfortunate. He's looked good against domestic guys. He's been undefeated since the Badu Jack fight. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's beat Martin Murray. I think
renege on that pick, Matt, because if he can't fucking pull off a win over Sturm at this age, who doesn't even have power,
you're reneging on the pick.
I got to, man. We're gonna keep it moving. You got George Groves or no?
Yeah, I think he's gonna outbox him for 12 rounds.
All right, we're both going Groves. Now, this fight, I want to spend just a little bit of time. David Allen, the White Rhino, we know him because he's a UK guy, Eddie Hearn guy. He's been in there with Luis Ortiz, and he kind of gave Luis Ortiz rounds, right? He went all 10 with Luis, or what? Luis couldn't get the knockout in this one, right? Producer sleeping away over there. Anyway,
yeah, he didn't get the knockout.
All right, so that makes him a little bit interesting. Also, he fought Dillian White, right? The White Rhino did. Double check that. And David Allen, the White Rhino, only has about 10 or 11 fights. This guy's getting these big name fights, because he's got all this heart. Now, Lenroy Thomas is interesting to me, this fight, because we know Lenroy. Ever since we met Keith, this has been a heavyweight that's been in Keith's gym, stablemate. But the interesting part is, cueing the soundbite.
Hold on.
He's not going into this fight with Dan Birmingham, the trainer of Keith Thurman, and who was his trainer. He trained in Miami for this one, not in St. Pete. I contacted Birmingham to wish them luck, and I tried to throw in the little Canelo, like, you don't need luck. That's for the mediocre. And he's like, man, this guy's not with me. I'm like, oh, all right. So it got a little more interesting for me because I want to see, can he get the win without his head trainer, Dan Birmingham? And yeah, at least we've already invested some time into the White Rhino when we watched them fight Dillian White and Luis Ortiz. So why not? I know for you guys it might be a little far of a stretch to actually watch this one because you never heard of Lenroy. Lenroy is not American either. He's actually Jamaican.
Who the fuck is that guy?
All right, when he sees you, we'll see how do you feel about that one, when he gives you the uppercut and shit. But yeah, Lenroy's actually Jamaican. He's not American, so I don't want anybody saying, oh, your boy. Yo, he's Jamaican, man. You know what I mean? They fighting for the Commonwealth heavyweight title, and it's going to happen on the undercard of Brook Spence. Any thoughts on that? You going with anybody, or you ain't got a dog in that fight?
I don't care.
That's sad, man. You're so disrespectful.
Right, you know how you are with like the very like small weight classes, the lighter weight classes. That's me with heavyweights that don't matter.
But that's the point. If he could get a win over David Allen,
that doesn't do anything. Who has David Allen beat? He's lost to Dillian White.
Yeah, but that makes him again at least valuable in the UK market, bro. What are you talking about? This is boxing, man. But I look, we don't need to argue about that.
I don't care.
Let's just take it out to Chicago, the windy city of Chicago on Unimas. Make sure you set your DVRs because this one is actually tomorrow, mañana. Michael Conlan, the Pride of Ireland, taking on Alfredo Chains in a 6-round, featherweight bout. You're interested? I mean, you interviewed this guy. You went to his training camp for this one, so you were there watching him get prepared.
I saw him spar.
You saw him spar. Okay.
I'll put it this way: he's good. I don't know what his ceiling is. I don't know what any of these young guys are like Shakur Stevenson. I have no idea what their ceiling is. But Michael Collins good, and he definitely could be a face in that market. I know he's going to go back to Dublin and fight this year. So I think the guy is just a star in the making if he can keep winning. He's probably going to win this fight as well. I wonder what the turnout's going to be. Chicago being a very Irish town, similar to New York. That's how he was able to pull like over 4,000 people in the small room for his pro debut in Madison Square Garden. That's insane. I assume he's going to do big numbers in Chicago as well. I think that's good. I think Bob Arum's doing an awesome job with promoting him so far. And Top Rank, way to go for them. And I think Michael Collins is a star in the making if he keeps winning. And, tune in Unimas to hit record because this is a guy that's going to be someone relevant in about 2 or 3 years. Super relevant in boxing.
I can't argue with that at all. What's funny is 2 years ago, even a year ago, I probably was a victim of saying, man, Top Rank is dying. And they've been able to secure some pretty decent fighters over the last couple of years, to solidify some great signings, some definitely star-making potential signees. They have the young Valdez, which already has a strap. Magdalena was an old sign, new champion with just enough personality if pushed right. I know they're trying already, and the last fight was on pay-per-view with all of them, and it probably didn't work out. I'm sure it worked out to the numbers that Bob expected. But outside of that, I mean, Lomachenko, they got
Ramirez.
No, but wait, Conlan is a bronze medalist, and they got Shakur, a silver medalist. They got this kid that I'm telling you about, Salcido. Alex Salcido is their fighter too. So they got some good little talent that can go somewhere, man. And don't forget Andy Ruiz hasn't done much yet, but Andy Venn says they have also. Just a lot of little good fighters, bro. Talented too, with some pedigree.
There's Crawford, obviously.
Yeah, Crawford, obviously, right? The Honduran Teofimo Lopez, that's one of their fighters as well. I mean, no, you can't forget Bradley, even though we tend to forget Bradley. Postal somewhere around there, Zeus Shimming still there. They're still thriving. Top Rank is, you know what I mean? They definitely got some fighters.
A few years ago, I think when we were just getting Manny Pacquiao rematches and just rematches in general against the same 4 guys over and over again, Top Rank in a way got stale. But they have, like you said, a lot of young guys that are relevant in boxing right now that are going to be relevant soon or years down the line. Top Rank has definitely positioned themselves to be relevant in boxing for the foreseeable 5 to 10, 15 years. And plus, one thing Top Rank has done recently, obviously they took some time for them to come to this, but they're starting to accept the innovations in technology when it comes to boxing. They've talked openly about leaving networks like HBO and Showtime for other avenues of streaming, other avenues of free television and such. Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn is going to be on free television reportedly, or it's going to be free at least, according to Bob Arum. They've started to live stream on their website all their prelims, which is an awesome move. They're starting to get very active on social media platforms. I think they're starting to do things in the right way in 2017 and moving forward. So I think them, along with Golden Boy, along with all these other main promoters, they're all set. I mean, if anyone thinks these companies aren't working to produce for the next foreseeable future, I think you're just missing what's really happening. Golden Boy has signed some awesome guys, even though they may not be money makers yet compared to Canelo, and Canelo overshadows these guys. They still are signing talent. Al Heyman has been signing talent. Lou DiBella has been signing talent. There's a lot of talent in boxing.
Yeah, Richard Schaefer's getting a lot of signees as well.
Another name. And very quickly on Jesse Magdaleno, because I think out of the entire bunch, he has the look. And maybe it's the bleached hair, maybe it's something like that, but he has an identifiable look that if you see him box, you will recognize him again. Oscar Valdez kind of looks cookie cutter. You know, he looks a lot. It looks like almost a lot of Hispanics, unfortunately, with the shaved head. Gilberto Ramirez is the same way. These guys are not very distinguished. Jesse Magdaleno has distinguished himself with just his look alone. That is a good sign for branding. I think all these guys are going to be big in boxing in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, Top Rank definitely went on a Hispanic signing spree over the last few. Let's get on with these other topics. Let's treat them as bullet points, except for this one. One of my all-time favorites, and I don't mean it for his fighting style, but for his home state. And I'm hoping he could turn it around and somehow get another big hometown fight, and me and the Hipster can meet up there. None other than
from Thornton, Colorado,
Mike.
Mile High Alvarado.
Mile High, boy. Mile High, stay lit. And he's back in the boxing business. He's going to be in a 10-rounder. He's taking on Matthew Strode. Welterweight fight. So somehow Mile High still being able to make 147. And let's hope he can turn it around, man. Again, definitely respect guys that with losses still put in that work to be fighters, because that is not easy work at all. Zilly Zhang Bang, I know absolutely nothing. This is one of Doomy Doomsday's sparring partners from out of Global once upon a time, and he kind of put me on him. Zilly Zhang Bang follows us on the Boxing Voice. He always invites us to his camp, so we're going to be watching, because I believe Curtis Harper, I'm going to just go ahead and double check that, but I believe Curtis Harper, I'm hoping this is the same Curtis Harper that gave Chris Arreola hell, and everybody kind of thought he beat Arreola on the PBC card. If so, that would be a good barometer to kind of fast track us on where Harper is. I'm just hoping it's him, and I'm pulling up BoxRec, and it's definitely looking like him, and it is him. Boom. But the bad thing is, fuck. Guess what's the bad thing, Matt?
What?
Just come on, give me a guess, freaking bozo.
I'm not going to guess because I just don't know any of these guys.
All right. The guess is Harper hasn't fought since he fought Arreola, so that fucking sucks right there. I know, man. I know.
That shit happens in boxing.
That's sad, because it would have been a good barometer. It would have been a good barometer to see where Zilly Zhang Bang is, man. Zilly Zhang Bang is 34 years old, and he's 6'6". And he is Chinese. He doesn't have any names that I know on that resume, I don't think. Not at first glance, anyway. And he's only 15-0. So, I mean, no one's kind of beating the drum about this guy. So him taking a fight with Harper, who's a common opponent with Areola at this stage in his career at 15-0, and again, without anyone knowing of him, it says something. This is, I believe, a Rock Nation signed fighter. So wanted to bring him up. Wellington Romero, another, because I'm guessing you're not into these hipsters, huh? This is not hipster enough for you, huh?
Yeah. Or anywhere a country that
you're breaking up something off over there. Maybe talk straight into the mic or
straight into the mic. Anyways, if they're not from Japan or like a distant country, I don't care.
Okay, well, you know, that's unfortunate.
And these guys are heavyweights, so I just really don't care.
Wellington Romero, another Dominican, guys. I was like, yo, Ness, you don't care about the Dominicans. Well, here you go. This guy actually trains out of my gym, out of the Glen Tapia gym. You know, he's a junior welterweight, also signed to Rock Nation. 12-0, 1 draw. And he's also going to be on this card in Boca Raton, Florida, Rock Nation card. So let's see what he can do. You know, I've been told he's pretty decent. I didn't get to see him spar. The day that he was sparring, I had to leave because he got there late. You know, we'll see what he can do. All I can tell you is about 4 fights ago, this guy was fighting a debut fighter. Maybe before that, he was fighting someone that had 2 less losses than they do wins. So, I mean, we're talking 24 and 22. I mean, look, this is what you got to do, to be honest. You got to build them up. So we'll see. You know what I mean? We will see. I just wanted to give him an honorable mention. Obviously, I'm training out of his gym. I might as well say, hey, what's up, Wellington? And he's Dominican, right? So it's for la patria. Don't hate on me. You know, at least I'm not like Matt, you know what I mean? Picking over here from the other side of the pond, you know, at least I'm sticking to my roots, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
I am a real American.
me and Earl, we got to bring it home, baby. Big state of Texas, baby. Bringing that IBF strap back across the pond, baby.
I don't
hey, Matt, you know what I got for you on Sunday, right?
What
comes on Sundays?
Crow Day.
Crow Day, baby. Crow Day.
If I eat crow, I'll be happy because we get another new, fresh guy in the sport that's elite. Like, it proves the hype. Like, everyone says Errol Spence is the truth, right? If he beats Brook, he is the truth.
All right, last bit of, I guess, news. The Golden Boy letter. I didn't read it. I didn't have time. I know that you know, Oscar, you know, he's crying to the fight fans that he doesn't want them to buy Mayweather McGregor is all that I know from the title. He's saying it's bad for boxing. It's not good. Don't be fooled. I didn't read the letter, so I don't want to really give an opinion on it, but I'm going off the title. Please be nice with your comments. This is a comment based off the title. I think Oscar's wrong. I think this is good for boxing. I think that when Floyd kicks McGregor's ass and the, you know, 3.5 million UFC fans that he brings to watch this fight, they'll probably stick around. Maybe 1 or 2, maybe whatever percentage of them that do come can stick would be a bonus for us.
Oh, that's so funny. No, I mean, I'm really going to address this only once, and I don't want to talk about Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather ever again. Unfortunately, we might have to, but I don't want to talk about it. This is a sideshow / freak show. What that means is that we're going to get a lot of eyes on this in particular. And then every casual sports fan, same with Mayweather Pacquiao, they're going to watch this and then not watch boxing or UFC again. The UFC fans that like boxing watch boxing. The UFC fans that don't like boxing aren't going to be converted to love boxing based off of Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. That's just not going to happen. So, sorry, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather is not good for boxing, but it's not bad for boxing either. It's just its own thing. It's separate from both sports. Treat it as the redheaded stepchild that it is, and just leave it alone. We don't need to talk about it.
All right. Well, there you have it from the hipster. He doesn't want to talk about it, Mr. MMA himself. I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Topics, though.
Excuse me?
I got some hipster topics, though, very quickly.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's not very hipster. Orlando Salido is fighting this weekend.
Really?
On BN Sports. I have no idea who he is fighting. He's fighting at junior. Oh, no, he said junior lightweight. I thought it said junior welterweight. I was like, damn, he moving up in weight class. But Jose Argumendo, the IBF strawweight champion, I believe, is fighting today, or he did fight today. It's probably on YouTube, something like that. Check it out. He is a legit champion, one of the best champions in boxing right now that gets no love. And the WBA has ordered the rematches of Hassan Nadam and Ryota Moreta, and the rematch of Rances Bartolome and Kirik Raylik. So that's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what pans out from that order from the WBA. That's it with the hipster topics.
That is it with the hipster topics. You know that I didn't even hear those, to be honest with you.
That's okay. I didn't listen to those heavyweights that I've never heard of. Wait, I met Lenroy. Didn't I meet Lenroy?
You met Len. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's so odd that you're being that disrespectful. It's cool though, because
I don't mean to be disrespectful.
I would love to see him hit you. I mean, he was so nice to you too when you was in that gym taking those shots. But you know, let me get to our co-producer before we open up the phone lines. Let me get to the co-producer real quick.
I'm a motherfucker.
Yo.
What's
Happening.
What's happening, people?
I'm excited. I got a 4-day weekend. What's happening? I got a 4-day weekend. So where's the party at? My uncle's house, free of charge. I'm excited for this fight. Okay, so we got Chocolate Brownie versus Kell versus, oh my God, Chocolate Brownie versus The Truth. And what do people want, Matt? What do people want? Do people want brownies or do people want the truth? According to the obesity in this country, people want brownies. People want the brownies. But we're talking boxing. So I'm saying...
Monster, did you write this whole speech
people
out?
People are gonna choose the truth. What happened?
Did you write this whole speech out? It seems very,
well thought out.
Yeah, it definitely seems like she has a paper in front of her and she's reading a script.
Am I? God damn it. You guys are the worst. I'm going to stop calling. I'm saying it right now. This is probably my last call.
Don't lie, Monster.
Why would you stop calling? What the hell is wrong with you? Yo, you can't be sensitive with a name like Monster Piece. Oh my God. Now your phone's breaking up. She's going to blame it on us. Now she's going to say we hung up on her. Monster? Pedazo de monster?
That's so sad.
Really? So she's not coming back? Text her. All right. So let's go ahead and open up these phone lines. We're going to go out to the callers. So first, a word from our sponsors.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to Australia. It's early in the morning over there. Let's get that pick.
No one can stop me, really.
Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in its jaws to rip my head right off.
You get in the 6th round and the 7th round.
You gotta be the legend to become a legend. Honestly, these are unbeatable. You gotta be the legend to become a legend.
Morning, boys. Yeah, look, really excited for this fight. I've been excited for this fight. I think these are two of the top 3, top 4 welterweights in the world. I think they're awesome. Like, besides resume, obviously, I know Nestor, a big resume boy, but I'm big on the eye test mixed with resume. So I think there's two of the top four. I think this is like a clash of the titans, and I've been geeing up for this for a long time. My official pick, look, my brain's telling me Spence by decision. It's been telling me that for a long time now, but there's very few fighters that can get me to pick against my brain, and Brook just happens to be one of those fighters. So I'm going Brook by decision. I've just been a big fan of his for a long time. So I think even Matt, I was telling you while we're at the fight in New York about it. So that's my call, and that's my... Oh, by the way, before I go, Ness, are you coming down to Brisbane for the Pacquiao fight or what?
Man, you know, they're not even handling, everything is going through Duco, man. We haven't even gotten anything. It's been like a chain of command, but actually Mickey Caparelli's going to cover it for us. So I don't know if you've been communicating with him ever, but he's long-term listener, and he does all the work in Australia for us, as you can see with Bray Caparello and Jeff Horn and everything else that we've gotten from that area.
All right.
I want to go, but they haven't even sent out anything the way that they did for the Shu Jiming fights. It was different this time. It seems like Aram doesn't have any control over this one.
That's really weird. But if you do, free accommodation, beaches, and good weather. So come down.
Damn, beaches too.
Yeah.
Holy
shit.
Brother.
Plenty of them. So yeah.
Matt, we might have to go.
Call. Thanks, boys.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. Come down, boys. Welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
Yo, how long is that flight? Isn't it like a fucking day or 12 hours or something?
30 hours. It's like a 30-hour flight. Fuck that. I'm sorry.
30?
I know Alex came all the way from Australia to TBV party in New York, which is insane. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to travel that much for a Manny Pacquiao Jeff Horn fight. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, it's not for Jeff Horn. It would be for the experience of Australia, and you get a big fight. But I hear you what you're saying. It does make it a little more difficult to go over there for a guy you never heard of, especially named Jeff Horn, man.
I've heard of him. I just don't care about him.
Oh, have you really? Have you
seen his fights?
Have you watched?
Let's not talk about Jeff Horn, Manny Pacquiao. Let's not get down that rabbit hole. You know me.
I'm going back out to the UK where people want to talk boxing. We're going out to Idris.
We have Monster Beast, by the way. We have Monster Beast back on.
Oh, Idris. We're going out to Idris, then we'll get the monster. What up?
Yeah, man. I called in earlier, man. You already know, man. It's gonna be chocolate brownie all day long, man. But you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do something different, man. Right now, I'm doing a premature, immediate reaction, and Brook has already won. This is what I want to say. Yeah, you're not gonna give him the respect he deserves and class him as the best welterweight in the world, because that's already what he is, and he just needs to be crowned that. That's what he's fighting for, man. He wants that crown of the best welterweight with no, that's it. That's what it has to be, man. But let me mention something about Dave Allen as well. Dave Allen, he's in Matchroom, and he's just going to be one of them fighters that are like him, Martin Murray, Paul Smith, and I feel like Sam Egerton's taking that route as well. They're always going to be like some sort of, they will finish their career with a lot of money, great resume, but a lot of losses, you know? They're always going to be like that type of fighters. I can hear Eddie Hearn was on a live feed earlier on Instagram, and he was talking about Sam Egerton putting up against Porter, Emil Khan, and Danny Garcia. And it's just like he's taking him that Paul Smith route where he gets good fights. He's always going to get, he might get a couple of title shots since he's WBC international, but he's not going to win any of them. But he will build up he's just, them Robert Guerrero type of resumes when it's finished. They'll have better resumes than a lot of champions, but a lot of losses. And it will be like a common denominator thing for a lot of fighters and stuff like that as he goes on. But he's a decent fighter. It's just like that. But his Instagram live was actually lit. He had Lawrence Okoli in there. He had Dillian White telling Eddie Hearn, why are you picking up my phone calls? Yeah, Tevin Farmer in there. It was strange. I think even Linares, it was just all strange. And he was just talking a bunch of crap. But that's what I was saying about Sam Egerton and Dave Allen. I just want to know what you think about that route they're taking them with. They're going to have a good resume. But I think Porter, and he's especially mentioning Danny Garcia and Amir Khan for Sam Egerton. And he's just setting them up for, I don't know, losses, but chances. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Losses, but chances.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's got a better shot at Amir Khan. That is a winnable fight for Eggington, let me tell you. Eggington is a nonstop puncher. He could possibly listen, Maidana took Khan to, the brinks of hell, and that was because he started late because Khan knocked him down. I know people try to overlook that, but that 10th round was hell for Khan. Thank God for Joe Cortez and the Khan fans.
Yeah, and he is WBC international, so I don't know what type of weight that holds, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was checking the WBC rankings, and I know that Eggington has that intercontinental belt, but it doesn't really mean nothing in the rankings. Like, Porter is still number 1, and then, a couple other guys are beneath him there. But obviously, thank you for calling in, Idris. We're going to go out back to the UK. We got a lot of UK callers tonight. We're going to David. Talk to me.
Hey, guys.
What's up, brother?
Yeah. So, like everyone, very excited for the fight Saturday. I don't think I've ever been as confident in a supposedly build 50-50 fight with regards to the outcome. I'm absolutely convinced Kell Brook is going to win and probably stop Errol Spence. Yeah. I've watched quite a lot of Errol Spence fights. I watched him fight in the amateurs, so I wanted to see him fight someone good, and he fought someone in the World Championships. I know it was a long time ago, in like 2011. He fought, I think, Sapiev or something like that, who won the gold in London as well. And he was absolutely schooled by him. So I think not only I think probably Kell Brook is good enough to outbox him, but I think he looks to me physically stronger. And I just don't. Spence is very, very good, but I just don't think he's great. I don't see anything that makes me go, wow, other than him being, very technically sound and just solid, really. He just doesn't do anything bad, but he doesn't do anything amazing either. And I think, Kell Brook's movement, angles, I think it's going to be a seriously tough night for Errol Spence.
Well, David, you already know Sunday's Crow Day, brother. Thank you for calling in. We're going to go out to Giant Joe.
Yo, what's up, Ness? Matt?
What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? I don't know. I got the feeling this has got classic written all over it. I've got to go with my heart. I've got to go with Brook. Because if Spence wins, if Spence can pull this out, then he's going to do it in spectacular fashion. He's got to do a Tank Davis, but he's fighting a world champion to do that. So it's got something extra special, I think, brewing in this fight. So, but my pick is Brook, the home fighter. I've got to go with that. Down the card, I'm going Chudinov over Groves. I'd like to pick Groves, but it's 4th time attempt at a world title for Groves. And has anybody achieved it on the 4th time? I'm not sure about that. The Dave Allen story. Now, Eddie Hearn, he likes a story. Now, when they teach you sales techniques, they want you to tell a story. It makes it good for Eddie Hearn to build a fighter, to give a narrative to who that guy is. And Dave Allen is a great story. He can talk him up well. His performances are, they are. But he's definitely a character. It makes him a media figure. He, across social media, he's a definite sell for Hearn. Further down the card, Jamie Cox. Watch for Jamie Cox over Lewis Taylor at super middleweight. That's another super middleweight I think people are sleeping on. Makes for sort of, a hot home scene for super middleweights in the UK. So he's a kind of bubbling under, but watch out for him. I'm also happy to hear that they've called WBA called for Relic to rematch Barthélemy. I think that scoring was a bit off, so I'm glad that they've moved soon to do that. Those are my picks, and I'll see you on Crow Day.
Joe, thank you as always. Let's get back out to the lovely monster piece.
All I ever needed was the one. What's happening? My fault, guys. My last call. I don't know what happened. So yeah, Friday. But you know what? Do you guys are gonna watch the Guerrero versus Figueroa fight?
Yeah, why not?
It's on free TV. I'll watch.
Oh, okay.
It's boxing. I mean, if I watch Toe to Toe Tuesdays and Ring TV and ESPN, what's the difference?
No, is it a good fight? No.
It is a good fight. What are you talking about?
It's not a good fight. It's not a good fight.
Why isn't it a good fight?
Was Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado 2 or 3 or whatever it was? Was that a good fight?
Did you watch it?
Yes. Answer my question. Was it a good fight?
I don't remember that fight. I don't know if that was the.
I'm not talking about was it
the one that he quit, right? Wasn't it one where he looked bad?
I'm not talking about was it entertaining. I'm not talking about was there action in the fight. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about was it a good fight? And you know exactly what I mean by that.
You mean relevant in the division?
It's a relevant fight. Two guys equally matched. We have Omar Figueroa moving up to 147.
No, bro, this is an equally matched fight with Guerrero's losses and Figueroa's inactivity and inability to make 140 properly. He's moving up to 47. Yes, it's a good fight. Their styles make for a good fight. They both come forward.
They may make for an
throw a lot of punches, and it would.
Something very different than what I'm arguing. You're arguing about entertainment factor. Is it going to be action packed? Yeah, 100%.
It'll still get someone ranked. It'll still move the needle somewhere.
It shouldn't get anyone ranked.
But where is
So wait a minute. You're saying
Where is Guerrero going?
You're saying Guerrero's not even top 20 then?
At this point, he's not top 20 at all. David Peralta beat him.
Look, we're gonna
Peralta beat him. What are you talking about?
We're gonna let
Driver in Argentina beat him.
Bro, let's let Monster get her call. In the meantime, why don't you go to the rankings and see where he's really at?
Fuck those rankings. I don't give
a ranking out your fucking ass.
I don't give a fuck about those rankings, Ness.
Yeah, about the rankings. No, because we got to give a fuck about your rankings.
Why are we talking about those rankings? They don't matter. They should not matter. Those are fucked up rankings.
I know.
If Horn can be the mandatory to a fighter where he hasn't beat anyone else in the top 15, then fuck those rankings. Fuck every single one of them.
Okay. Yet we're gonna use yours, right? From the crack of your ass. Get the fuck out of here, man. If you say a fighter's no good, he's no good.
That's the problem with boxing. There is no consensus ranking amongst anyone in any outlet or any sanctioning body. There's no consensus.
Exactly, except the hipsters, right? Evidently, except yours.
What do you mean? What do you mean mine? Who am I repping?
Yeah, you say who.
I have my own opinion, just like everyone else about who's ranked.
No. She asks, are we going to watch? You're saying no, that the fight is shit. So your rankings are the best. You say Guerrero's not top 20. You say he's not top 20, so he's just.
Yeah, in my opinion, yes.
All right, because your rankings are the best.
I'm not referring to the WBC or WBO rankings that are pay for play.
Well, that Monster finish. We could get back to this after her. She got to go.
Yo. You done? You done?
You can go.
Because if you're done, let me know.
You brought up that whack shit.
I didn't mean for you guys to go. Against each other. Jesus Christ! It was a simple question. Are you watching the motherfucking fight?
It's a good fight.
Apparently, Matt, it's a good fight. Okay, very good, Ness. For you, it is. Spilka, he's back after a long recovery session.
Matt's logic is irrelevant. According to Matt's logic, it's irrelevant because Spilka doesn't do anything for the division.
Well, let me tell you something. He took a hard punch, and he's back. So can we at least welcome him with open arms, Matt?
You know, it's funny that you bring up that fight. That kid, Adam Nowaki, he's actually from New York, and he's trained by my trainer, terrific, the trainer Kendall Holt, the trainer Glenn Tapia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he's back, and I'm happy to see him back. I'm a little worried because I hate seeing fighters that get sent home in a stretcher, come back. It's always kind of like, ooh, is that trauma still there? But hopefully he puts on a good performance and he builds himself back up. He definitely tried to sell that fight with God, I forgot his fucking name now. Wilder. So he seems to be a very fun guy. So hopefully he comes back and do a good performance. Hopefully this is a win for him. But you guys didn't answer my fucking question. What do people want, Ness? Do they want brownies or do they want the truth? Matt, you look like you could use a brownie. What do people want?
Depends on where you're from.
Depends what's in that brownie.
Depends if you rep the flag. If you rep the flag, then if you're in America, you want the truth. If you're from the UK, you want those brownies, apparently. Or you're like me, who doesn't rep the flag and views boxing objectively. I go brownies. Brownies are delicious, man. And plus, you can make special ones that get you high.
Well, you could use one. You could definitely use one.
Oh yeah.
You know, of course. You know, let me tell you something. I think people want the truth. At the end of the day, the truth hurts, but it has to be said. The truth will win. The truth will win. I think Spence has a higher chance of winning this fight, just based on something that Ness touched that some people don't like to take into consideration. He is young, and he is hungry, and he is confident. And when you mix that with talent and potential, you have a masterpiece for disaster. So that guy is gonna go in there. He's definitely gonna do everything he can to win. Now, with what you said, Matt, about Brook did move up to 160. He did went up, and he did take punches from Triple G, somebody that you may not want to even take a fucking pat on the fucking shoulder from. He definitely took those punches, and if it wasn't for his corner throwing in the towel, I think the motherfucker would have stayed in there and fought him until the death. So I don't know if it's gonna take Spence that much of himself to throw in there everything in the kitchen sink. It might take just that in order to get rid of Brook in that ring. So it's gonna make for an interesting and entertaining fight. You know what I really would want this to become kind of a rivalry between them both? Is there a rematch clause from any of them? Have you guys heard of anything like that?
No.
No, nothing. I wouldn't mind this.
It's a mandatory, no rematch clause.
Oh, okay. So, but I would have loved for this to become kind of like a nice rivalry between them both. To kind of help them push their, well, not so much Brook, but maybe Spence, to kind of push him a little bit forward. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't really need to be. I just like rematches a lot. I like the stories behind them if it's a really good one. So all depending on how great this fight goes, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. But I'm thinking way ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm picking Spence. Not easily. I really was conflicted too. I wanted to pick Brook as well. But yeah, my pick is Spence for Saturday night. And that is peace.
All right, Monster. Well, thanks for calling in. Let me get to, you see Alex in the queue?
Alex Lemon, yes.
Yeah, there he goes. Talk to me, Alex.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey, thanks for taking my call, man. Hey, definitely gonna take Spence man down. I don't know what makes Kell Brooks a monster or makes him special. BJ, JoJo Dan, an ugly Porter fight, 2 rounds with Triple G, winning 2 rounds with Triple G. I mean that would make Khan a monster too, then, because he won 2 rounds with Canelo. So I don't see that. So I'm taking Spence. Top rank, to touch on that, yeah, they're signing all kinds of talent, man. All the names you mentioned, plus the Gabriel Flores Jr., the Danny Valdivia, the Kilo the Kid, Jose Ramirez, Eddie Vences. I mean, Top Rank has locked down California, whether it be the North or the South. They locked it down. So Top Rank is doing great with that. And that's I am interested in the Figueroa and Guerrero fight, and that should be good. And just wanted to say shout out to my daughter Jada Lemon. Today's her 13th birthday.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
That's about it, fellas. Hey.
All right, Alex.
One more time, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, fellas. Hey, man, thanks a lot. Great show. Can't wait for Saturday.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Let me get to where is Mr. Fernando Pimentel? What's going on over there in LA, brother? Fernando going once, twice. No vámonos. Kansas City Mac, talk to me.
Yo, I got a Spence late round knockout. I don't care about eating crow. I eat it with hot sauce. I'm out.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. We got Larry in San Francisco.
Hey, big up to the Boxing Voice. Hey, and let me give a special big ups to Arthur Spilka and Robert Guerrero for not winning a fight in years yet getting airtime on the Spence Brooks show. Quite impressive, I must say. And Monster, keep bringing the truth. That was tight, and keep it going. Hey, Brooks Spence, great fight. Grateful for it, and looking forward to spending Saturday. I might get up to Sacramento and hang out with my dad and watch the fight, which I haven't done in a while. So I'm looking forward to all the more so. But in terms of picking a winner, I will say this: anybody who is picking one or the other with conviction, I'm gonna have to say there's regional or country bias in that. I think the fight is just that close. I will say this: if Brooks, if I knew it was cool and there was going to be no residual effects from that, I would go with Kell Brook in the fight. But we don't know that. I do think Declan Brook has the experience. Brook has a better jab. I think Spence is the better body puncher and can punch himself. But the reason why I am going with Kell Brook is because Spence has never fought anybody that can punch. And when you get in there with people who can't punch, of course you stand in the pocket and fire. And of course you throw without fear your heavy shots because you're not scared of anything coming back. If Errol Spence leaves Great Britain with the title, I won't be surprised. But I think in breaking it all down, you got to go with Special K. And I'm out.
All right, Larry. It's so funny because, I mean, the guy spars with cruiserweight. So, I mean, if Cal could hit harder than a cruiserweight, then, yeah, maybe he'd be afraid or hasn't been hit with that type of power. But, I mean, a cruiserweight should be equivalent to a welterweight at some level. What cruiserweight?
Yeah. I know.
You never met him? Cam Austin. He's a declarated amateur. He's still an amateur though, but he's gone that many times. That's the thing. He's that good. Also, they mentioned another cruiserweight there. They put him on the behind the ropes. But let me get to Jay Wright on Skype.
Yo, what's up, fellas? Man, it's Jay from Orlando, man. My phone was acting outside. I called on Skype.
Oh, what up, brother?
Not much, man.
Jay,
hey,
man, you need to get with us when we out there on Border Wars, man. We're going to be out there for like 5 days, man. We got to get some ribs.
I was going to hit you up. I was going to hit you up about my backstage passes. Make sure you got them ready.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting in shape for it. But nah, man, I want to say this, man. Make sure you write everybody's name down, man, who ain't picking Spence.
Man, Steven ain't here. Steven graduated today, man, so ain't nobody taking names, man.
Yeah, if I got to do it myself, man, we taking names, man, because the time has come, man. It's going to be Crow Day in about 3-4 days, man. On Sunday, everybody going to have to pay, man. I'm rolling with Spence, man. And Cassius is acting like, yo, that he did black for Mayweather's eye, that he did, knock out Broner, that he didn't, do all these things. Like, that means something. When you do that to all those different people and everybody says something about you, and then every trainer from Freddie Roach to the Joel Diaz's of the world say something about you, that you can't lie at. So it doesn't matter if, he fought, a Leonard Bundu that was old or something like that. Like, you can't make that up. And you saw what he did with him. You saw and it took my boy Thurman. I'm a one-time fan. It took Thurman 12 rounds to get to that. So that's what I say about that. When it goes to Oscar De La Hoya and his thing, man, Oscar De La Hoya is a con, man. He just cons everybody. In the 24/7 leading up, he said, "What's the last time you seen two Mexicans fighting? It'd be a boring fight." But hell, the damn Mexican fight that you threw earlier this month was damn boring. You con people out of that. Had people thinking Chavez was something just because he got in shape. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with Kell Brook. People think he's in shape and he's going to be able to do something. And I say, man, write this down. 9th round stoppage. And it's going to be an ugly stoppage, too. With the Floyd thing, Floyd, I agree with Matt, man. Not on the show, you ain't talk about it, but I wanted to bring this up. Floyd is old, so I wouldn't be too high on him. He's been out of the ring for too long. And by the time he does get in the ring and there with a real boxer, you talking about looking at something that's been like 3 years in the making. Also, too, man, shout out to my boy Courtney Pennington. He fought earlier this month. Had an upset win, a.k.a. Kingpin. That's all I got, man.
Jay, thanks for calling in. We're going out to Scorsese in China. Talk to us.
Hey, what up, y'all? Man, Errol Spence ain't never seen the Kell Brook. Kell Brook ain't never seen the Errol Spence. And when he did see it, he didn't get to see it that long because his fucking eye got beat up. So I think that beat up eye and the weight he had to drop, all that's going to mean something. What Floyd be saying, when a boy take a loss, that shit be in the back of his head. When he get knocked out, when he see that flag come in, that towel come in, it's always going to be in the back of his head. Too bad Triple G took some of the credit off his victory. He had to. That's why I don't like Triple G punk ass. He do weak shit. But yeah, I got Spence, man. I think he gonna step over his lead foot, and he gonna hook him with that left, and then he gonna be ready to throw that. He gonna hook him with that right, then he gonna be ready to throw that straight left. He gonna be ready to uppercut that straight left. Brook just gonna have to take it. Next thing you know, that towel gonna fly in again because they gonna say I can't help him go through 2 surgeries. The first one's bad enough. And y'all was talking about Conor Floyd. I'm going to talk about that. I support that fight more than Canelo versus Triple G. Triple G ain't never did what Conor McGregor done in his sport. Conor took on the pound for pound test. He didn't say no, no, no. Conor was like, I'm going to fight these dudes. I don't like MMA. But Conor McGregor moved up in weight. It's not funny. Hold on. It's not funny. Come on, man. That's Matt. Is that Matt playing that?
You know it is.
Yeah, yours is too long, by the way. Anyways,
Conor McGregor
no. Conor McGregor fought a pound for pound #2 fighter. Triple G said no to that shit. Conor McGregor went up in weight. All Triple G camp did was let Abel talk about going up in weight. And then when they challenged him,
Conor McGregor never defended the title. Why you somebody to never defend the title to somebody that has legitimately cleaned out a division?
Look, dude, he KO'd in one punch.
McGregor's never cleaned out a division. Triple G has. That's one thing Conor McGregor's never done.
What are those guys? Who are those guys? Who are they? David Lemieux? That's his best win. I'd rather have one victory over a champion than move up in weight, get choked out, and come out and do it again.
I know you're a hater, but this show says Kell Brook, Errol Spence, and you're talking about Triple G. Why are you talking about Triple G?
Why? Triple G.
Why?
He a hoe. Simple.
Why are you talking about Triple G? This is a Triple G show.
I'm tired of them. I would support Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, and I hope boxing come out on top. Hope they put Gervonta Davis on the card and let him knock somebody out. And those 3 million people might say, damn, I like that little dude right there. Where he from? That's Floyd fighter? Boxing wins. The hell with Triple G.
Sad.
Well, all right, Scorsese. Since he brought that topic up, Anthony Joshua wants to get on the undercard, Matt.
Interesting.
We're going to go to EJ in the UK. Talk to us, EJ Boxing Live. What's going on, brother? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but we know we got to come out. And I got to do what I got to do because I don't know if any UK guy is going to support Errol Spence, but I'm going to tell you, I'm picking man down Errol Spence. I'll go with Spence, man. Everything Scorsese said, weight, do the eye socket, like on form, Bundu, no one stopped Bundu. Firma never stopped Bundu. Algeria win. I like the Algeria win. Man, Errol Spence.
Who the fuck is Algeria? Nobody. Come on, man.
Yo, Wesley, what the fuck?
Who's this guy, bro? Who's this guy?
He about to get ejected.
Yeah, man. Like he's on form, bro. This is Errol Spence time. Everyone knows. And like Scorsese said, Triple G done took some time, took a bit of shine off the fight, but the fight is happening. Why the fight is happening? Like if it happened before the Triple G fight, I probably would have went for Kell, but because of the situation, and you have to go by resume, Nez, you're absolutely correct. Resume on form right now. You gotta understand, Kell Brooks has come off a loss. He's been stabbed in his leg for whatever reason. Some people mention homosexual or whatever. He's been stabbed in his leg, whatever. Like, so on form, I'm going Errol Spence, man down, like chocolate brownies. Like, Kell's number one thing is like, when he went Triple G, he said, I want to feel his power. Like, who does that? Like, why would you want to get hit by him? Now he's coming in this fight. I can't wait until you get hit by your chocolate brownie. So he's counting on hurting Spence with his power. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all well and done, but Spence can hit back and he's going to go straight for the eye socket. That's all you got to do. Fake to the body, then jab him up to the eye, and that's all you got to do. I got 9th round stoppage, like one of the callers did as well. 9th round stoppage. They're going to throw the towel in, or he's going to be stopped. Kell Brook, 9th round. I'm probably the only UK guy probably going to go out on the limb. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, like, for me, it just seems like it's Errol Spence time, like Javante Davis beating Liam Walsh over here. And boy, look, UK, we're doing pretty well, but it's good we're getting these good fights. And hey, I hope both guys come out the fight safe, but I think it's Errol Spence time, and he's a yard man as well. He's from Jamaica as well, so I gotta go with him as well. So yeah, and Andy Joshua, he will not be on the undercard of no Conor McGregor thing. Andy Joshua's a big name himself. Like, who would you ever see Andy Joshua fight?
Yo, did he say it or not? Did he say it or not?
Andy Joshua's a lot of things, bro. Andy Joshua right now is the fucking cash cow of boxing. The heavyweight division. How the fuck you gonna be in anyone? Don't matter if you said it. How the heck you gonna be in anyone's undercard? Andy Joshua is the
because he ain't never done a pay-per-view in America. He ain't never done a pay-per-view in America.
Hold on. You guys see the whole fucking world saw him fucking beat fucking Klitschko down, yeah? And like you what are you gonna do?
Hey, listen, don't be mad at us. Don't be mad at us because your guy wants to come and get on the fucking undercard of Floyd Mayweather.
When have you done
He's smart. He's smart. He's smart. He wants to get in front of those 5+ million. Man, Pacquiao Mayweather did 5 million. Fucking Conor and Mayweather probably do like some 7 or some shit. You think Joshua's dumb? He wants some of that. He want to get in front of those eyes. He ain't crazy. Mighty Sway, talk to me.
All right. Yo, that guy sound like Wingy's cousin, EJ.
He's from the UK. He always picks against the UK too.
Yeah, I know, but you're right though. Like, why? He's kind of right though. Like, why would Joshua be on the undercard of Mayweather? You know.
Hey, brother, it's Joshua. It's Joshua that said it, man. Joshua said it, not us.
Yeah. I know. I saw him on the I Film London. He was saying that, but yeah, I don't think Mayweather would pay him though. So that's why I don't think it could happen. But yeah, man, I just want to make my pick. I got Brook. Yeah, I think Brook is gonna beat him. Last time he fought, it was against Triple G, so it wasn't really a good fight. But yeah, I got a feeling Brook is gonna win, man. And is there any other fights, or that's the only fight this weekend?
George Groves, Chudinov, David Allen, Lenroy Thomas, Michael Conlon on Friday. Got a few little scraps, but nothing big.
Nothing big. All right. Nah, man, that's my call, man. Everybody have a great weekend.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in. Wesley in the UK, talk to me.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fight is going to be a great fight. Understand? It's a 50-50 fight. We all need to know what's going to happen on that eye injury. That eye injury, everyone's making a big deal out of it, but I do think it's gonna affect him. But I don't think it's gonna affect him to the point where he's gonna be afraid of Errol Spence hitting him on that eye. I think both men will hit the deck. I do think it's gonna be a great fight, but I do think Brook's gonna win. Guess he's just gonna pull it out. But no one can say that Brook hasn't fought his mandatories, because at the end of the day, everyone said that Brook's gonna duck Spence. And that's what Eddie Hearn said himself. He wanted Brook to duck Spence, but Brook said to him, "You know what? I'm going to fight my mandatories. I'm going to unify the division." And that's what he's going to do, in my opinion.
All right, Wesley. Well, thank you for calling in all the way in the UK, staying up late with us. Listen, if you guys want to call in just like Wesley, it doesn't matter what part of the world, just add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS. I also want to remind you guys we're going to be doing an immediate reaction to this fight immediately once it's done. The minute that these guys do their post-fight interviews and we have a official winner, TBV will be live. So make sure that you subscribe right here to the YouTube channel. You want to get those notifications. You do not want to be left out. And keep in mind, we're going to be doing a weigh-in show. I'm almost 100% sure we'll be doing a weigh-in show. And we also have an on-demand show that we need to do on Floyd Mayweather's legacy, courtesy of Igloo in the chat. That's his topic, not ours. We just get it done. But hey, who doesn't like a Floyd show, right? We got Luke in Jersey. Bring him on.
Oh, what up, Ness?
You tell me, Luke.
I'll start by giving Hipster some props. Some coins for him.
Yo, you got your own coins? What the fuck?
Yeah, this is the fight of the welterweight division. This is the fight. I went to the Thurman versus Garcia fight, man, and that was a total shit fight. Everyone was booing. Neither of them showed up. I lost respect for both of them that night. That was a shit fight. But this fight this weekend is going to be a great fight because they're both hungry. Neither Thurman nor Garcia was hungry. These guys are both hungry. They both got something to prove, so they're both going to show up. Now, you could say that both of these guys are straight up and down, no special effects, but that's okay, man. They're both solid. They got nice jabs, nice 1-2s, and Spence got that mean body work. The thing I want to know is why he's so big on Thurman, Ness. I mean, he looked like shit against Porter. Brook beat him better than that. And what has Garcia done at 147?
Come on.
I'm not even going to entertain that. I think he speaks for himself. The way that he's beating these guys, look how much difficulty Porter gives anyone. And that fight didn't look quite like a Porter fight versus Thurman, did it? I mean, you know, he's just look at the way Diego Chavez gave trouble to Rio, so much so they both had to resort to cheating. Bradley had this huge hematoma on his head, not Thurman. Thurman does things
and he
differently.
Almost dropped Thurman. I know that was colossal.
And that's fine. That's fine. Listen, it's boxing. You're gonna get hit. Look at the way that he beat Collazo. You know, and here Collazo. I mean, the only other guy to beat Collazo or I would say better than that, because I don't remember him taking a shot like Thurman did, is Khan. Khan did very well versus Collazo. He made Collazo frustrated. He was
also questionably a welterweight too.
Very quickly, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, while not as entertaining as Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, was still a masterclass of boxing. That was impressive work on the back foot.
I don't know if I would give it that credit. I really wouldn't. I'm sorry. But I'm picking Spence by UD. I will give Brook all the credit if he wins. And also I got Groves to win. I think it'll be easy work for him. I think Groves is the best 168 in the world. He's got a beautiful jab. Ness hating on Groves for some reason. I don't know why. But first he's going to beat Chudinov, and then he's going to beat DeGale to unify.
I'm not hating on
Ness
him.
will give him some credit.
I'm not. He just let me down, bro. Look, we all know he lost the DeGale fight, and he got away with that. And then he had me all excited, making me believe he was going to beat Froch, and he lost twice. Come on, man. And then he keeps changing trainers. I mean, he needs to get a clue and buy a couple of vows.
All right, bring on that Floyd Mayweather legacy show, Ness. Peace, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling in, Luke. We're going to go out to some alumni. Everybody's favorite caller around here. It's going to be good to get his take, but I think he's probably going American sauce.
Mr. Info Joe.
Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth. This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother. Tell the truth, Joe. Tell the truth.
Yo, you know it ain't no show without Info Joe. What's up, TBV? Let me burn. Yo, Brook versus Spence, truly a 50-50 fight. First off, let me say, both fighters are wrong in the callers when they say whoever wins this fight is number one.
Thurman will still be number one. He still will have the best resume at 147, holds 2 belts. So until they beat him, he's number one time. Facts. Now, Brook is a good fighter. His best win is Porter. He won that in a close, tight fight. His next big fight, Triple G, he gave him some problems. And it was from that fight that made me pick Jacobs to beat Triple G. But Brook still lost, and I'm not sure if his eye will hold up against a puncher like Spence. Now, Spence, all I can say is that he passes the eye test. He looks good, looks great, but he's not battle tested. His best win is Algieri, a guy with 8 KOs, pillow fist. We have not seen Spence face a puncher yet or go through adversity. We really don't know how he will react if he gets cut or hurt, or if he can't KO a guy. Can he go 12 hard rounds and win on point? All of these questions Spence is going to have to answer. As far as skill set, they're about equal, in my opinion. Brook has the better defense by far, and Spence does the better body work by far. In my opinion, it's a toss-up, pick 'em, 50-50 fight, but it only makes sense that I pick Spence. 12-round split decision, USA all day. And hit those thumbs up. You're listening to the #1 podcast in the world. TBV, pound for pound #1. Next, you have a nice trip in Jamaica. Take a picture, put it on Patreon, drinking on Maya's rum, smoking on a big fat blunt. Have a good time, my brother. And happy
Joe, very quickly.
Santiago.
Joe.
Oh, Santiago's a
What?
Gemini baby too?
Yeah,
Joe,
Saturday, man. He having a little shame dinner too. I'm going over there to watch the fight.
Damn,
Well,
that's
what's up,
awesome.
Matt?
last night when we were training, for TBV Border Wars, you were picking Kell Brook. You were saying Spence has not proven enough for you.
Yo, he loved you to sleep. That's what happened. See, he uses you. You trying to use the OG Info Joe to come on the show and make your picks, and he had to sleep you, man.
That's not true.
No, I got to go with the I didn't pick Brook, but I said normally I go by resume. If I was to go by resume, I'm a resume guy. I would have to go with who's been in with the better comp. I have to see with my own 2 eyes. I know people say that I'm picking Spence, and I'm a solid pick with Spence, but I have not, like I said, I have not seen that guy face a puncher yet or go through adversity, man. And I can't go by what people say he did in sparring with Floyd and whoever. I didn't see it for myself. So I got to go by what I've seen. I got to go with the hometown guy, though, man. USA all day. Peace.
Info Joe, thank you for calling up. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this on your way to your job, your commute to work, your jog in the morning, if you're like Matt, your late night jog, listening back to the show, head on over to iTunes, drop us that 5-star review, and we're going to go ahead and read that review live on the air once it comes through, because it helps with the visibility of the show just as much as you guys hitting that thumbs up button. We should have just as many thumbs up as we have people watching. I mean, you're obviously enjoying the show. Hit that thumbs up. We're going to go out to New Jersey. We got Amin. Talk to us.
Hold on, fellas.
What's going on, Amin?
Yo, first of all, shout out to Info Joe. Shout out to Jay from Orlando. Right quick. Listen, this fight, we've been waiting for this one for a long time. I think that Info Joe break it down masterfully, man. Spence definitely has the better defense. He has faced adversity. I think a lot of people, they can't take away from the winner of this fight either way. Some people's going to say that, Spence is, he's been shot since he went there against Triple G. We don't know if that's going to look like experience. Conventional wisdom tells us that it ain't, but we don't know. And again, Spence, he's dispatched the same competition as top-level fighters in a much more impressive way. His defense is not as good as Brook's, but his offense is a hell of a lot better. So for me, I mean, I got to root with Spence because he's Jamaican. I'm going off that. And if I eat crow, it is what it is. I'm a jerky. I'm going to eat jerk crow. That's what it's going to be. But it's definitely going to be an interesting fight to watch. Listen, man, Mike Alvarado, what is he still doing fighting? I looked at that other card and I said, Mike Alvarado's on this card. I don't know. That just kind of shocked me. I'm picking against Groves. I don't care who he's in the ring with. I think after Fox crushed him, there's nothing left. And man, we're gonna have a hell of a show on Sunday once we find out the winner of Brook and Spence, man. And that's my call. Fellas, enjoy your evening.
All right, I mean, I can't wait for some of that jerk pork. I'm telling you, that thing had me insane last year.
Yo, so a week without TV is awful.
Hmm?
A week without TV is awful.
It won't be a week, bro. We gonna make it do what it do. We gonna go out to Florida, home of the border wars. Majid, what's going on?
Not much, just coming in to get my pick. And I'll tell you straight up, I'm going for Errol Spence. One, because I live in Florida, and he's from the USA. So no offense to everybody, but y'all UK people, fuck y'all to the weekend over. And I feel like it's going to be what it's going to be. I seen Kell Brook. I think he a good fighter, but I don't see him commit to the body punches. And I feel like he keep throwing them hard shots upstairs and get counted downstairs. There's going to be some real problems. The orbital bone, if he could beat Errol Spence with that orbital bone all fucked up, I'm going to give him way more respect than if it wasn't broke, because that's recovering from a serious injury, but hands down, I got Errol Spence. I don't know if it's KO, TKO, unanimous decision split, but I'm going with Team USA, so that's where I'm at. And then on another tip, man, Matt starting to kill that show with his negativity, man. Tell him to cheer the fuck up and be nice. Let people speak and get their opinions, man. That's what we on here for, not to be arguing with him. That's all I got.
All right, Majid.
Quickly, Majid. This is a debate show. This is a talk show. I'm going to debate Ness on topics, obviously, and I really don't interrupt callers, so I don't know what gripe you have with me being negative. I'm here to debate.
Well, you probably did interrupt the caller earlier today, but who am I to point it out? No.
Come on.
So you saying Masterpiece can't get her fair shake on here?
You give Masterpiece like 10 minutes.
So you saying you're timing the producer now? Yo, your mic's low. Turn up. I don't know what you're doing over there now. Let's go out to Class Inbound in Texas.
Hey, how's it going? It's here. Prediction day. Dang. So first of all, let me just say this. This is a fantastic fight. I'm super excited. 2017 is honestly, this is the best year we've had for boxing in the last decade or so. I don't care that we got Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather because it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But these fights are actually producing. They're going to be great. So with that being said, let's get down to business. Hipster, you said naysayers will say that the weight thing was an issue if Brook loses. That's actually the reason I'm picking Spence. There's not too many fighters in recent history who have gone up in weight, fought someone, then come back down to fight another big fight and then succeeded defending the title or winning. If you just look at someone like Roy Jones Jr., who actually won his fight, this is what I think it will come down to when it comes to Spence and Brook. If Brook was still undefeated and coming off who did he fight before Triple G, Bizier or whoever the crap his name is, I would be picking Brook because I think Brook is a very talented fighter. He's very slick, has a nice jab, has a good set of wheels. I like everything about Kell Brook. But I think the injury and the weight is going to be a big deal for him. He's not going to come in at 100%. That's just me. And for that, people were like, "Oh, Keith." A caller a couple calls ago was like, "Oh, Keith Thurman isn't this. Danny Garcia ain't that." I'll tell you this right now: no matter who wins this fight, they all got to go to Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman is one time for a reason, and he will toe tag them. I guarantee it. Don't matter who wins, Keith Thurman will KO them easy, and I'm willing to put money on that. You can have me down for that fight real quickly because Keith Thurman is the truth. He's proven, and he was going to show exactly why he should be nicknamed the truth, not Spence. And I don't care about chocolate brownies because those brownies ain't going to be able to hit Thurman. So either way, it's a good fight. But you got to get to Thurman. But that's all I got for you, picking Spence.
All right, class and bound.
We have a ringer.
Loving the call, man. Loving the call. Who could it be? Who could it be? Damn, Brewski, for real? It's been a minute. Been a minute, bro. Pittsburgh Brew in the house.
Pittsburgh. Black stripe.
What up, Boxing Voice?
Bruce,
Yo,
what's
Penguins,
up, brother?
Penguins about to do it right now. What up? What up, man? Just watching these Pittsburgh Penguins taking it to these fucking Canadians. Just like I expect my TBV boys to do.
KOs for life over here, baby.
Oh, man. KOs for life. One time a year. Oh, man. Yo, this fight got me hyped, man. For real. I can't wait. I think that I'm going to have to go ahead and pick Spence by late stoppage. Because honestly, I think if the fight goes to a decision, they're going to take it. They're going to take it from him. I done seen, too many crazy robberies lately for Spence to get a fair shake over there. It just won't happen. And, I don't know what's going on over there with, like, patriotism for all these, like, terrorist acts and stuff. So, they're going to be sticking together, these UK guys, big time. So I can just see Spence, like, getting a raw deal over there, man. Honestly, I really can. Do you think that if it goes to a decision that – Golovkin wasn't up on the cards against Kell Brook over there. So I just think that he's going to have a real rough time winning the decision. What do you guys think?
I think he fights in a style that isn't gonna matter, man. These guys are gonna mix it up. They're gonna find each other easily. It's not gonna be difficult, I don't think, to know who won these rounds. I hope. I don't want to be discussing an immediate reaction to a controversial decision. That would be awful. Awful. That could be the worst outcome.
I could also see this fight ending like a weird way, like like bitch shit from Kell Brook. Like he gets poked in the eye and falls down, or something crazy like the Darrell fight. That was legit, but some kind of crazy circumstances because he knows he's getting his ass beat. Matt. Play it, Matt. I just see it. You don't think that could happen?
Brew,
thinking something could happen is anything could happen.
Yeah, it could. Anything could happen. I can't believe Matt picked fucking Kell Brook.
It got you mad. That's good, y'all. I'm gonna have somebody to fucking rub some pie in their face.
I ain't taking a pie bet on this.
We are going out to Ohio. Ohio.
If you know like I know, you should lie low. I used to get it in Ohio.
Yeah. What's up, Boxing Voice? Real geek for this fight. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but Errol, he is my favorite fighter right now. So I'm really excited. I'm real nervous. Kell's one of my other favorite fighters. So it's something I really didn't want to see, but it has to be done. Now I'm going with Errol, but there's some things I'm not liking going into this fight, man. I don't like the fact that Errol keeps stressing that Kell doesn't run.
He said it in the first press conference. He said it again this press conference about not running. I hope you don't run. And we never seen Errol in front of somebody with movement. You know what I'm saying? With good foot movement. So I think that would be a good test to see if Kell Brook's going to use the ring on Errol and really make him come cut the ring off, because we really haven't really seen that with somebody who can box effectively off the back foot. So I'm kind of leery of that. But that was my little in-depth analysis. I think Errol's going to pull it out. I think he's just going to be the more active fighter. I don't see anybody getting stopped. I think that both these guys are too skilled to stop each other. We might see one knockdown, but that's about it.
All right, Jay. Well, you know, it's interesting that he said that knockdown thing. I mean, listen, Kell Brook himself, for everyone that's calling Earl Green, Kell Brook himself is saying he expects to go down in this fight. He says he feels they both will touch the canvas. Matt, you think he's just talking to hype up the fight, or he really feels the power? Because not to mention that, but I mean, in his most recent interview with Coogan, he says it again, like, you know, Earl's powerful. He's a powerful welterweight. Dan, that sounded almost like Arnold right there. That was a bad UK impression.
I think that Kell Brook. I don't think Errol Spence is green. I'll put it that way. I think the idea that one of these guys is going to get knocked down, I think is realistic. Is it not?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility, right? Because people question Errol Spence's chin.
Yeah.
And, you know, if there's a question on that chin, then the guys that Kell Brook has put down on the canvas, I guess, would be comparable. You know, guys like, because he didn't drop Porter. He didn't drop Porter, but he dropped Bizier and Gavin and Jojo Dan and, I mean, Hatton. I mean, Sinchenko. He dropped a lot of those, you know, type of tier guys. So I just can't wait. I'd rather see.
One thing we haven't really stated is that Errol Spence doesn't have the best head movement, I would say. Like he's there for shots. He is open to get caught with shots.
All righty then. Well, let's see. We got we got a treat. That is some alumni. Let's get to them then.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Yo, Fight Doctor in the house. On Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, Fight Doctor? Break this one down for me, brother. Make me confident of my pick.
Listen, this is real simple, okay? First of all, I have to comment on something that was said earlier regarding Triple G having cleaned out 160. When did this happen? Okay? Because as far as I know, he's fighting the lineal champion in the division. So it seems to me that before you clean out the division, you have to fight and beat the champion there. So this notion that the Triple Duck has cleaned out 160, that's fantastic. Okay?
Can we not topic? Can we not talk about Triple G for one show? Can we not talk about Triple G for one show?
All right, now, having said that, Mr. Shitman, having said that, this is a real easy fight to pick. Listen, if we were talking about the same Sean Porter, a fight that was close, it was a close fight, and look, I thought Susie could have gone either way in that fight. Look, I saw Kell Brook do a lot of holding in that fight. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a good fighter, but he isn't the most skilled boxer in the world. And I saw Kell Brook do a lot of holding in that fight.
A lot of greats have held.
That
Mayweather held. Andre Ward has held.
Look, listen. Oh, wait. A lot of greats have beaten some good.
Bernard Hopkins has held.
Okay,
I Kell Brook has beat anyone, but you're acting like holding automatically counts the win. Hold on. You make it sound like it automatically discounts the win. It doesn't. There have been greats that have won great fights off of holding and clinching in Inside Boxing.
All right. Are you finished? Are you finished yet? Are you finished? Are you finished? Let me know when you're finished. Okay, you really should change your name from Hitman to I don't know shit man. Because you don't, because honestly, that's what you sound like right now. All right, let's be honest. You're talking about Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins. Andre Ward has beat some people. Bernard Hopkins has beat
I didn't say Kell Brook ever beat anyone other than Sean Porter. And by the way, he took way less punishment against Sean Porter than Keith Thurman did against Sean Porter. Putting that out there.
Okay. Keith Thurman has more names on his resume than Kell Brook does.
Yes, he does.
One name on Keith.
Keith Thurman has more names than Kell Brook. I said that. Why would I argue a point that I don't believe?
I don't know shit, man. Honestly, what are you talking about?
What do you mean, don't know shit, man? I'm saying the same point as you. I'm saying Keith Thurman has more names than Kell Brook on his resume. So does that make you?
Okay, you're talking about great fighters who have held. Look, you're talking about other great fighters who.
I'm talking about a technique in boxing, not comparing the fighter. I'm talking about the technique in boxing.
Okay, so look, at the end of the day, you're comparing Kell Brook to Bernard Hopkins and Andre Ward.
I'm not comparing him to those names. I'm comparing clinching. I'm comparing clinching.
If you're not comparing.
Now, for somebody, you don't like it, but for some people, they're legends.
Like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. If you're not comparing Kell Brook to Andre Ward,
that's me. But okay.
If you're not comparing Andre Ward and Bernard Hopkins to Kell Brook, then why did you bring them up?
Comparing them.
Comparison is unwarranted, sir. Kell Brook has not done shit in his career to be compared to those two fighters.
I'm not comparing them, but okay.
What are you talking about?
I'm not comparing them. I'm comparing clinching. Do you not understand the words that come out of my mouth? I'm saying clinching. You're arguing that win over Sean Porter should not be credible because he clinched in it. But there are other fighters that have clinched in their careers. Why they get credit for that?
Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth?
To you, but I don't know if you're listening to me.
Look, when did I say anything about the win over Sean Porter not being credible? When did I say that?
You talked about him clinching a lot against Sean Porter. You did talk about that.
Well, yeah. Okay, so that's what happened, isn't it?
You mentioned it to count that win. It was obvious.
No, I did not mention it to discount the win. That's what you say I did, sir. Okay, stop putting words in my mouth, okay?
And why did he bring it up? Put words in your mouth.
Listen, there's a reason why nature gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Talk less, listen more, okay? Talk this. Say it with me. Talk less, listen more. In other words, shut the fuck up, listen, okay? I'm trying to explain something to you, sir. Trying to explain something to you. You gonna let me get off track and shit. Look, let me just make my pick, okay? Because the shit that you talking don't make no sense. Kell Brook coming off a loss, got his orbital bone broken in the last fight. Okay, this is an easy fight to pick. He's coming down from middleweight. Kell Brook is probably not even going to go the distance. Okay, I'm sorry, but broken orbital bone in your last fight, and you coming back to fight a young lion in Errol Spence, who's coming off a string of knockouts. I'm sorry, man, but I just don't see. If we were talking about Kell Brook from the Sean Porter fight, then yeah, I would probably pick Brook in that fight. But you're coming off a knockout loss, broken orbital bone. No, dude, I'm sorry, but I got to roll with Errol Spence in this fight. I think the logic, the common sense, the smart money, the 2-to-1 odds all say Errol Spence. So what is this? I don't understand. How is this even a question? Honestly. I mean, who picked Kell Brook in this fight? I don't get it. Somebody please explain to me, how does Kell Brook win this fight? I just don't see it. Okay? That's all I got.
All right, Fight Doc. Well, thanks for calling in. But there have been a few people that pick Kell Brook now. I'm pretty sure you would have picked up on some of those analysis. Big Brother Noomsy, talk to us. Chocolate brownies or man down?
Hey, what up, man down. I don't feel like it's a clear-cut fight, though. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. Even when Errol Spence fought the dude from Long Island that fought Pacquiao, excuse me for forgetting his name right now, I felt like that just fighting a boxer like that and being able to put him down, was a good test for him that everybody doesn't respect. It means he can basically fight a technician. Porter, the Porter fight with Kell Brooks definitely opened everybody's eyes. You got to remember, not only has this man got his orbital bone broken, he got stabbed on a beach. So this guy's been through some physical things. He's a tough guy. He's not going to quit. His team quit for him. He didn't quit. So it's going to be a great fight. 50-50 fight. I want to see Errol Spence win because if Kell Brooks wins, he's not going to fight anybody else big. He's going to stay over there across the pond and keep fighting those bums until we make him fight somebody else because he's gotten all that good money now. So I hope Errol Spence wins for that case. I think it's better for boxing, honestly. But, I mean, that's it. And Matt, stop stealing people's, stop jacking calls over there.
It was one call.
Big brother Noomsy, thanks for calling in.
And it's Fight Doctor. Fight Doctor wants somebody to fight him, like on the call. Like I'll entertain it. It was fun.
Young Mike, Sal, what up?
What's good with you guys, man? Yo, man. So you know what it is, man. Man down. I'm going Errol Spence. A lot of people are saying he's green and whatnot. I mean, I'm looking at what he's done so far, and I mean, he beat Bundu. Bundu went 12. Keith Thurman. He beat Algieri. Algieri went 12 with Pacquiao, and he beat what's that guy, Philip the Greco, whatever his name is, and he went 12 with Sean. And he didn't only beat them, but he knocked them the fuck out. So I'm going off of that. The young, hungry line. The winner of the fight doesn't become the number one welterweight in the world, bro. I mean, you still got Keith Thurman is still a unified champion. You know, you can't discredit Keith Thurman. He got the better resume than Earl and Kell Brook. And the number one is Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I know we don't like who he's fighting right now, but we do got to respect who he is and what he's done. So until one of those guys beat Manny Pacquiao, then they can get the crown at number one. And a lot of people I've seen the chats and stuff that they're asking why there's no respect for Kell Brook and all that. I mean, bro, the man has been a welterweight since 08, since fucking 08, and he fought for the belt in like 2014, bro. That's 6 fucking years. 6 years for you to get a title shot? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Errol Spence is he went pro like in 2012, bro. He's already getting a title shot. He was a mandatory. He's his mandatory. There's a reason he's his mandatory. Kell Brook was no fucking mandatory that early in his career. That's exactly why we fucking show Errol Spence respect. That's why man, come on, bro. What have you done since you won the fucking belt? Seriously, bro. You went on all these sprees on injuries and you didn't want to fight. Errol waited for your ass. He could have went and got another fight. He said, fuck that. I'm waiting for him. And he said that shit on interview, bro. So I'm going with the young, hungry lion that's going to put it down. Team USA. Let's go, baby. That's my call.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in.
I'm ready to let my hands go. These brownies, I'm ready to, release them.
We're going to go out to Skype. Oh, that's right. What up, brother?
We got a ringer, Stainless.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Hey, yo, TBV, what up, though?
Stainless, what it do?
Oh, man, you already know. Matt, man, we talked about this in Brooklyn, man. I'm very excited for this fight. This is the fight I've been waiting for the whole year. I mean, let's be honest, none of us expected what we got out of the Joshua Klitschko fight. We all want to see what Spence is capable of. And that's really what this fight is about. I'm going to lean towards Spence for one, because I'm from these states, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to stay united in these states like they stay united in that kingdom over there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all Spence. But just logic tells me it's probably not as intense as everybody else's, but I haven't really seen anything from Kell Brook to make me feel like he's a champion who's, first off, worthy enough to hold on to that belt.
nor still has passed an eye test or a resume test that makes me feel confident enough in him as a fighter. Meanwhile, you got Errol Spence, who, even though his resume is not there yet, I mean, this man is 18, 19 fights in, and he's trying to get fights to put onto his resume. Like, this dude building himself. Then second, and I know everybody's saying, that's just sparring and all that. But look what happened with Floyd Mayweather. I mean, I know it was just a Berto fight, but you saw how dominant Floyd stayed in that whole fight. Look at the Charlo fight. You know what I'm saying? When he fought. Did you see that knockout? I mean, it was a dominant knockout. You know what I mean? Like, look at the people that Errol Spence is sparring, and then how dominant they become, or how much more powerful, or you know what I'm saying? How much greater they become in their skill and their craft just off sparring with the cat. Like, that alone is telling you it's something big and special in that kid, and there's a reason that he the truth, man. So, like I said, USA all day. I think said it best. Whoever Gross is against, that's the one I'm going with. I can't believe that Guerrero or Mike Alvarado are fighting. I'm not even gonna make a pick on them. I thought Mike Alvarado was in court, but that's what it is. But as I always say, man, please make sure that you share and push the thumbs up on this and every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast, man. Just on a quick sidebar though, man, this is a great show. I know that the reaction show and the weigh-in are going to be explosive because we are already live as hell on here, and I just wanted to get my pick in so I can get back to listening to everybody else go on. All right, man. Peace.
Stainless, thanks for calling in. Going out to our other ringer, Dempsey. What up?
What up? What up? What up? We got ourselves another good fight matchup this weekend. Errol Spence, Kell Brook. Man, as a boxing fan, man, I'm so happy right now. I mean, this has been a hell of a year. I mean, just about almost every match that has been made has been a match that we've all been wanting to see. And Brook Spence, for me personally, this is a fight I've been wanting to see the most. Honestly, I want to see this fight more than I want to see Gennady Golovkin, But, I mean, me personally, I feel like this really is a 50-50 fight. I really do. Kell is experienced in terms of just how many fights he's had. He's been around. He's been battle tested. I'm sure. I do know there's times where he's probably had to dig deep. To beat an opponent. I haven't seen every single one of his fights, but I've always been impressed with his footwork and his 1-2. His inside work is not all that good. That's where Errol Spence has an advantage right there when it comes to, digging into the body work and maybe coming up with the uppercuts on the inside. Errol could have that advantage right there. And Errol has that youth, and he's strong. Every time this guy lands punches on guys, you hear it. And as you hear it, you can feel it. And, man, to anybody out there that has fought before, they know when they see this guy land punches, they say, ow, ow, ow. But I'm just going to end it with this. My heart is with Spence because I really want to see Spence win. I'm an American. I want to see the American pull it off. But my mind is telling me that Brook is going to pull off a split decision. I think he's going to get a split decision. It's going to be a very, very tough fight. But we will probably see Kell Brook earn his respect that he's been demanding for a long time now. Because, truth be told, he's not getting much respect. He doesn't even get too much respect for, going overseas to win the title from Porter. And that's pretty unfortunate. I was at that fight, too. I was there. And, but Brook got my respect, and Spence has my respect. And I just got to say, may the best man win. But I think Brook will pull off a split decision. That's my call.
Dempsey, thank you as always for your support on Patreon and for calling in with that great call. We're going back up to the top. We got actually some people on Skype. We're going to go out to Daniel. Talk to me. Where are you calling in from, my friend?
Yeah, is that me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Where are you calling in from?
Yes, I'm from the UK, but I'm calling in from Toronto because that's where I'm living now.
Nice, brother. So talk to us. What do you think about this fight? Brownies or man down?
Well, I'm going to say that for the people that have been saying that this fight is too close to call, I think I'm going to go with them. So anybody who calls in and they're super confident about how the fight is going to go because of rumors that have happened in sparring or anything else like that, then obviously they're going with their heart. But if you go with your head, you can tell that these two competitors are very, very close. And, you know, it could go either way. I mean, this is really, really, really balanced. And it's a good thing as well that in the welterweight division, that there's competitors now in the welterweight division that are intense, respectful, but at the same time, they're entertaining to watch, but they're not disrespectful. People like Derman, people like Porter, people like Spence, obviously, and Brook. So you're fascinated. You want to watch them, but at the same time, there's no effing and blinding. There's no disrespect. So it's intense competition, and that's a great thing for the welterweight division. So going back to the fight, I feel like, you know, if Errol Spence goes in there and wins his fight, blows Kell Brook out, or even braves the crowd who's going to be intensely against him and comes out with a decision, then he's definitely the truth, and he's definitely the next big thing out of America. Okay, so based on what I've seen, Kell Brook is been the person who's been out there a lot more, you know, for people to see. So I'm gonna slightly edge towards him, right? And then we'll see. But I'm not going to be surprised if he goes either way, because from what I've seen about Errol Spence, he's definitely a very talented and tough competitor. The way he's been taking people out, people that hasn't been taken out in that fashion. So I'm gonna slightly lean to Kell Brook. Now, there's another thing that I want to quickly address, and that's people that are calling up talking about how Kell Brook hasn't fought anybody since he beat Porter and he won the belts. I agree obviously, because the facts speak for themselves. But you can't ignore the circumstances. So the circumstances is, yeah, he got stabbed in the leg, and then after that he had mandatories. Okay, he had mandatories. The business of boxing got in the way as well, which unfortunately I'm the biggest hater of the biggest business of boxing, but it happens. Okay, so ultimately the business of boxing got in the way, but he had mandatories, and he had IBF mandatories. Everybody knows if you don't face your IBF mandatories, you're gonna have to lose the belt. You know, it happened with
All right, Daniel, you're swinging after the bell for sure. This is a jam-packed show. As you know, this is a very, very hot fight. Everyone wants to make their predictions. We're giving everybody one round to get it off their chest, and yours is all up. We're going out to Mr. NB on Skype. Talk to me.
Hey, what's happening, Boxing Voice? I've got to go with the homeboy, innit? I'm Team Brook, innit? I just think at the end of the day, I think the experience is going to count for a lot. It's a bit like the Joshua Klitschko fight, innit? Because you got the experience against sort of like the youth, although there's only like, I think 4 years in it. But I got to go with Brook. One thing I wanted to touch up on, though, actually, is the size difference. After the first presser, I heard a lot of people talking on social media about the size difference between the two and how there was a considerable size difference between Spence and Brook. But when I looked at the final press conference yesterday, it looks to me, they're both wearing trainers, it looks to me they're very much equal. If anything, Kell Brook looks maybe the slightly broader man, because if you look at the distance between Spence's shoulders, you know, to me, he looks like he's weight drained, definitely Spence. They're probably both weight drained. But the only thing that worries me is the holding. I think if Kell Brook holds too much, I can see him getting caught by Kell Brook, because I think Spence is the better. I could see Brook getting caught by Spence because Spence is the better inside fighter. I don't think Kell Brook has a very good inside game, but I think if it's a fight that's kept at distance, for me, I feel personally that Kell Brook wins it. And I just wanted to find out also, what is the hype around Spence? Because he's only really come to my attention about maybe a year ago, and I don't see the hype. I mean, he's good and he's talented, you can see that, but I don't see what this whole big hype is, why everybody's leaning towards Spence as opposed to Brook.
Well, man, like your brethren said, right? It's gym stories. So if you're gonna go with the rhetoric, you're gonna believe the stories of the gym and things like that, or you're gonna take what Brook has done in the ring. But like we said in the beginning, in the opening of the show, man, resumes and all that doesn't matter. Today's prediction day, and Saturday is definitely Judgment Day. Let's get out to some calls. We're going back out to the States here. Want to get to some alumni callers.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Hey, what's good with y'all, man? Hey, Matt, do me a favor right quick. Can you get the fight night weight for Brook for the Golovkin fight?
Okay, I can do that.
Fight night weight for Brook and that's just to strengthen the point that I'm going to make. My point is this, man. Throughout history of the fight game, historically, for the most part, the guy that goes up in weight then comes down, usually that it doesn't fare well for him. Secondly, I wanted to ask you, Ness, should we be concerned that Brook is at
168?
Go for it. Okay, so this guy has lost 20 pounds, and he makes 147 about 5 days before the actual weigh-in. Is that a concern to anyone?
Well, he's had how long to get 20 pounds off? He's had since last summer.
This is a extreme. Well, this is a already muscular athlete. You know what I mean? And you're fluctuating in weight like that when a guy who has held his weight at a certain level for a lot of years, I can see, and most times in boxing, we see that as being a flaw for the guys. It always ends bad for the guy who's went up and came down. And here's where I want to go with this. So you got Brook and you got Spence. So I'm the guy who calls in and says, hey, is this guy's confirmation fight? And guess what? I called in when Spence fought Algieri. I said, guys, do we agree that this is Spence dogs him like he dogs everyone else? We're going to just say he dogs people. Now, I always say in boxing, hindsight is not 20/20, it's 5/5, because now we look back and we act like we didn't give Spence before that Algieri fight. It was his confirmation fight, and he went out and did the same shit to that guy he did to everyone else. So my thing is this: I'm taking Spence with the 8th round KO. I think he's going to dog him like he did. I have no other reason to believe. I have no reason to believe he won't. We haven't seen much from either of these guys. If you want to discredit Spence's resume in contrast to how lack of competition we've seen over the past 3 years with Brook, we haven't had much to take as a sample from Brook. You know, the guy, we've seen 5 rounds with Golovkin, and then JoJo Dans of the world, and then it was the Spence of the Porter fight. That said, we don't have much to go on other than a lot of eye tests here. And Spence has gotten all A's on his test, howbeit the test may have been easy. So for me, I'm taking the 8th round KO. Before I get out of here, guys, I would love to get quickly into the possibility of the Broner-Mikey Garcia fight. I'm going to come out early and take Broner, bigger, stronger, faster, acclimated to bigger fighters. You tell me why I shouldn't go with Broner. I'm out, guys. Have a good one.
Man, that would be money you losing for sure. CT in Connecticut.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Another day, another podcast. Great fight to talk about.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this fight, mainly because I think Brook, in order for him to get, Spence's attention. You got to hit him with something hard early, because we all know strong, aggressive fighters, they're going to keep coming. So I think Brook's going to have to hit him with something to get his attention. With that being said, I see a lot of people bringing up the Emmanuel Lartey fight when he caught Spence with a right cross, I think it was. And that was coming off a counter. So I think Matt brings up a good point earlier when he said, Brook being the better counter puncher. That's going to be interesting to see how Spence takes, a punch from a legit, precise counter puncher. I'm looking forward to the fight because it brings up so many questions for Spence, and this is the type of fight he's been won. I don't count Brook out at all because he's very accurate with his punches, especially his 1-2 and his uppercut. So I'm looking forward to a lot of things in this fight. But I do think the eye injury will play a big part, and I just hope it's not a Margarito Cotto situation where it starts to swell up and then his corner over panics, meaning Brook, and they stop the fight over his eyes swelling. I think that could be the case here, so I'm going to go with Spence in a late round stoppage.
CT, man, thanks for calling in. Been a long time, brother. Don't be a stranger. We're going from Connecticut to Canada. T in Toronto, talk to us.
What's going on, man? How y'all living?
Oh, man, getting these picks down, man. Another great fight to talk about.
All right, I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. I touched on it a little bit earlier when you had the spontaneous show, but the factors such as Brook going up in weight and coming down, losing all that lean mass, that's going to affect him. It affected the great Roy Jones, and ironically, Roy Jones came down to fight a big southpaw who had Olympic pedigree, who was deemed to be the next big thing, and he lost. Sometimes shit is not just a coincidence. The second thing is a broken eye socket. We don't know how that's going to hold up. I do think Spence has a better corner. I do think his sparring has been better because he has Charlo, who is equally as decorated as a Kell Brook, and he's fought the Broners and the Mayweathers and so on and so forth. So he has that experience against elite level athletes, being sparring or not. And the last thing that people keep stepping over, I don't know if people forgot, but Kell Brook was dropped by Carl David or David Kowalski, whatever he goes by. And that dude only had 9 KOs in his whole career. So it's not like he's got this iron chin, he can just walk through everything. Yeah, he's got heart. He'll get up and keep fighting, but he can get hurt if he gets hit. With all that being said, all those factors against Kell Brook, I got to go with Errol Spence. I do think he's a great fighter, but I don't think that it's his time to win. I think Errol Spence is going to go over there and do what he has to do. Kell Brook is going to have a good showing because he is a man at the end of the day. He's a tough cat, and he's fighting his own backyard. He's not going to lay down for nobody. But Errol Spence wins this fight, man. Period. The end. Whether it's a late TKO, KO, I got Errol Spence.
Hey, great call, man. Thank you for calling in, brother. We're going to go out to Santiago. Santiago, I had no clue you was a Gemini, baby. Congratulations, my friend. I wish you a happy birthday on Saturday. Talk to me.
Yeah, thanks, Nestor. I appreciate that. You actually already knew, but my birthday is actually May 26th, but I'll be holding the party on the 27th just to, have Kell Brook, Errol Spence there for a little attraction, and it's gonna be a fun evening. Friendly reminder to anybody who's gonna tune in: remember that they are fighting in the UK, so remember that it's gonna be at 2:15, not 6 or 7 like we're most usually accustomed to for showtime. Anyways, going back to the topic at hand, this is a battle, in my opinion, between an outside boxer and a mid-range fighter in Errol Spence, a guy who needs just enough distance to get the power off his shots, doesn't want to stay completely on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Kell Brook can keep the distance, fight on the outside, give him the angles, because I feel that that's what's going to be the key for him to win the fight. But if Errol can effectively control the middle distance, work the body, and he can eventually slow down Kell Brook and probably get a late fight stoppage. it's gonna be a toss up, and my pick is going to be Errol Spence, because we do have to factor in the fact that what can happen if that orbital bone injury does resurface in the fight. That's my call. Any questions you guys have regarding this topic, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm out.
Santiago, just don't forget to light one up on your birthday, man. We're going to go out to Cisco in Seattle. Talk to us.
Hey, Cisco, not Cisco. Just Sco.
Oh, Sco?
Yeah, Sco.
All right. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, shit, just enjoying the show, man. And I like that little UK shit you guys had popping off too with them showing the mitt work and everything like that. So that was a good look on y'all part. But shit, man, I'm gonna have to go Kell Brook on this one, man. And I fuck with Spence tough. He's one of my favorite guys. I hate to see him actually both fight. One of my favorites, but yeah, I know. But with Kell Brook just having the faster jab and the quicker feet, I feel like as long as he doesn't mix it up, and like Errol Spence told him to do, if he doesn't mix it up with him, I don't see why he's not going to be able to take a pretty standard decision, man. You know what I mean? Because you got to think, Errol Spence is going to get hit in that face a couple of times. He doesn't like to move his head. He likes to use his high guard, you know what I mean, and put himself in position. He's going to get some shots off, but I see Kell Brook just being a little bit too quick for him throughout these 12 rounds. And you gotta look at it too. Errol Spence was looking mad drained in that little thing to that, man. He looked super drained in the face, worse than Kell Brook was. So that's gonna factor in. I'm not really worried about Kell Brook coming down in the weight like that, because I mean it wasn't like he went up and fought a couple fights. He went up there for one fight and he didn't put on a ton of muscle. I don't know why people keep saying, oh, he put on a ton of muscle. You can't put on a ton of muscle in 8 weeks. You can't put on literally more than, I'd say, 2 pounds of muscle in 8 weeks. You know what I mean? Even for an elite athlete like Kell Brook, it's just not possible. What you're seeing Kell Brook put on was a lot of water weight. You know what I mean? A lot of water weight, a lot of fluids. So that weight shit's not really gonna mean much as long as he took it off. As long as he took it off the right way, and it seemed like he was with the nutritionist and shit like that. So. But, I mean, it's a 50-50 fight like everybody else is saying. I'm really hoping I hope Errol Spence win. I'm hoping he's able to dig him down to the body and slow him down a little bit with some body shots early on, and maybe deeper into the fight, he can kind of take it to him and he can make him mix it up with him, because that's what he really wants. Is he needs Kell Brook to slow down a little bit and to want to mix it up with him. And that can happen later on in the fight if he's able to dig to the body consistently. Kind of just keep the pressure on. But if not, if it turns into a jab fest, which is what I'm thinking Kell Brook is going to want it to be, I see Kell Brook by decision, a close decision. And shit, that's what I got.
Sco, thanks for calling in, brother. Good breakdown. We're going to go out to West Africa. Going on, Muhammad? It's been a long time.
Yes, sir. I was dealing with some family problems, but I'm back. Everything is taken care of, and I'm very excited about this fight. But the thing that excites me the most is the pressure that both fighters must be feeling. Because think about it. If Kell Brook loses, we're going to say that he doesn't belong to this level because he lost against Triple G. We give him a pass for that. But if he loses against Spence, then you're going to question his win against Porter, and that's the only name he has on his resume. On the other hand, if Errol Spence loses, it's going to be just like a hype job. You know, everybody's going to say he's been talking, but when it came down to it, he came up short. So the pressure is going to be off the hook. Don't you think so?
Totally agree, man. Like Keith said, bro, Earl got to prove he's the truth, and Kell got to prove that he's special.
That being said, I did watch the press conference, and I like the way Earl is looking. He's confident, talking about he's not going to say anything. He feels that he's the best, but come Saturday night, he has to prove it. So he's turning that pressure into positive pressure, which is, I believe, is going to be good for him. So let's see, this is a 50-50. As far as I'm concerned, it's a 55-45. I'm leaning slightly towards Spence, but I'm not going to put my money on it because it's just exciting, you know. This is exciting for boxing, you know. Errol Spence, Tank Davis, what he did. You know, by the way, Tank Davis just made himself a star. That entrance with the Michael Jackson music, that's star. Now we're gonna see if there's a new star, you know, in Errol Spence. So let's keep our finger crossed and may the best man win. I really mean that because I like both guys. I met Spence at the weigh-in for the Herman Garcia, and he's a very nice dude. You know, everybody was scared of him, and I saw him when I went to the weigh-in when you gave me that dress, and I hollered at him, and he came and we took a picture. He's a very down-to-earth guy, so I like him. But I also like Kell Brook, so I don't know. Let's see if them chocolate brownies gonna taste good or not. And that's basically my call.
Muhammad, as always, it is a pleasure. We're going to go out to the callers. We got Will. Yes, sir.
We got a ring.
All right, we'll get to him right after Will. And I think it's Brooklyn. Will in Brooklyn, talk to me.
Yo, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yo, so I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think I actually like both the fighters, man. They're both great fighters. But I think what people are forgetting is Errol Spence, as good as he is, he's also a media hype job. And he's a hype job based upon, or he could be a media hype job based upon what happened with Mayweather in sparring. So everybody heard about what happened with Mayweather in sparring. But let me ask you something. What do you think would have happened if Kell Brook sparred Mayweather the same way? You think he wouldn't have done well also? I want to know that.
Yes.
That's my point. You see, the thing is, so Errol Spence did great sparring Mayweather, but Kell Brook would have done great sparring Mayweather too. So I think, you know, everybody's looking at how good he did against Mayweather, but I think people are really underestimating Kell Brook. Kell Brook, if you notice the way Errol Spence fights, the reason why he's so powerful is the guy sits down on every punch. His footwork, he's always really flat-footed. He has not a lot of head movement. People are just afraid of his power, for good reason, too. But if you notice in the Golovkin fight, Kell Brook, the guy can move really, really well. He knows how to deal with lefties really well, with southpaws really well. And the other thing is the guy could actually switch to lefty. So what's going to happen if Kell Brook switches to lefty also? That might confuse Errol Spence. To make a long story short, man, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it actually will go 12 rounds. And although I'm an American and I love Errol Spence, but my heart says Kell Brook.
Well, all right, brother. Thank you. For calling in. Damn. Yo, Matt.
Yes.
What happens if Earl wins? Isn't the smartest thing to do is negotiate a rematch?
Possible.
Or is the unification with Thurman financially more lucrative than going back to the UK as the A side?
That's possible.
All right, well, let's bring in our ringer. Excuse me?
I don't know. I mean, that's very hard to say. If he goes out there and starches him, I think it's going to be very hard to call for that rematch.
Well, obviously, Brook wouldn't call for a rematch if he got chocolate brownie.
No, I'm talking about Spence. If it's financially incentive for him to get a rematch with Kell Brook because of the UK market, I don't know.
All right, let's get out to our ringer on Patreon. KM Star, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you guys doing? I dialed in late today, but I'm glad I got to listen and hear pretty much everybody is similar, or most people seem to be similar in not being sure who to pick for the win. I think one of the callers had a great point in saying that 8 weeks isn't enough for Brook to have gained pure muscle. I think basically the weight might be a non-issue. I think he was known to have difficulty being at 147, and there was always talk of him going to 154. So if he just makes weight the way he always does, he should be comfortable. They're similar sized guys, so I think that also is a non-issue. I think the real factor to me is going to be stamina. I was trying to check BoxRec, but that thing throws up these stupid viruses now, whatever that thing is. But I wanted to know, like, how often has Spence gone 12 rounds? You know, like he ices his guys usually. It seems. I think I only saw 2 decision wins on his record. I'm not sure how to interpret that, if it's a good or a bad thing. I think Brook is known also to kind of wear down or get tired later. So it's very even. I'm not sure who to pick. I'm going to go with Brook because he's at home. And I think that he knows how to kind of smother the other man. I know everyone says that, Spence is a good inside fighter, but I'm just going to kind of lean to the experienced fighter and say that he knows how to tie up and prevent that body work from having full effect. That's the only reason I'm saying that. We'll see what happens. I really don't know who's going to win. The other thing I'll say is I'm looking forward to, you guys are going to make fun of me. This is a very casual comment. I'm actually looking forward to Kell Brook's ring entrance. I think this guy has one of the most exciting entrances for the fight that I've seen in a long, long time. He really knows how to come into the ring with flair. It's going to be in the UK. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be at 5. I'm actually as excited for this fight more so than just about any other card this year. That's it for my call.
KM Star, thanks for calling in. I think it's the Rihanna song. That's what it is. He comes into the Kanye, All of the Lights. It's repetitive, but he made it a theme song. It's kind of like The Rock. You knew The Rock was coming into the ring because that song would drop, and that's kind of the All of the Lights song is kind of what he's done. He's kind of taking it on as his own thing there. No, Matt, what do you think of there, Matty boy?
I didn't about his as being anything notable, but I need to give it more thought.
Yo, did Igloo just say, am I serious? Yeah, who else sings All of the Lights? That's her on the hook, bro. You want a Mayweather legacy show, you need a music school you show. Listen, we got 7 more minutes to school guys like Igloo. We're going to drop it into a drive-by because we're out of here at 10 p.m. If you want to rock out with us, we're going to be on Patreon doing some TBV overtime and talking big stuff. You can find a link in the chat here, or you can find a link on our social media at Twitter. Who's up first? Lennon with a shot, drive by, go.
I just want to say, make it real quick, man. This ain't no 50-50 fight. It's a 100-0 fight, man. Errol Spence, by first degree murder, 10th round KO. Errol Spence don't move his head. He jabs on the angle, sort of like how Lomachenko jabbed. And whenever Kell Brook rolls back, he drops his hands down. I think it's just going to be too much concentrated pressure. And Errol Spence is going to go to that body, and he's going to do what he wants with it. Cut it.
Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, in about 6 minutes, we'll have 3 hours live on the show. So when you hear the cut it,
it's just one of them days. Don't take it personal.
Matt, keep your finger on the trigger, but don't overdo it because this might be a first-time caller. 484, first-time caller, who's this? Actually, first-time caller, how long you been listening? First-time caller, how long have you been listening? First-time caller, how long have you been listening?
Yo, you hear me?
Yes.
You hear me good, Nez?
I hear you. Are you a first-time caller?
You hear me, Nez? Nah, this is Ronald Cruz. I called the other day.
Oh, Ronald the fighter?
Yeah, man.
Yo,
I was listening to you guys.
You always shock me when you call in. Fuck, man. That's so awesome, man. Matt, get that down so we don't do that again. And yeah, guys, I just want to introduce Ronald Cruz. He actually faced Errol Spence on the way coming up. So Ronald, talk to us.
Yeah, I think Errol, it's a more naturally. I think he's more than naturally gifted athlete. I think he has better. I think he has better defense because Brook, he gets hit a lot. If you look at the fight with what's his name, Carson Jones, he got hit a lot in that fight. Sean Porter touched him up a little bit. I think Spence has a more has a better defense. He has better speed, better accuracy, better power. So I'm going with Spence. Unanimous decision, man.
Ronald, so are you still training fighters or what? What's going on with you?
Nah, man, I'm just working, and I'm just a boxing fan right now. I'm not in the game, you know.
I hear you, brother. Well, we definitely appreciate you calling in. I got the producer now. He's taking that down. That won't happen again. We won't keep you waiting long. We definitely appreciate you calling around here and giving your take. Always good to have you. There you guys have it. I mean, former pro, I guess, Ronald Cruz. Definitely been to a lot of his live fights out there in Sands Bethlehem Casino. He used to definitely pack it. And he went rounds with Earl in a good fight. 631, first-time caller. How long have you been listening? 631, 631. We're moving. Billy Goat, drive-by, talk to me. Pittsburgh.
What's up? What's up, Ness? I'm not a first-time caller, but I've been listening long enough to know Fight Doctor don't know shit about boxing, and I'm his points of view. That's right, Matt. I feel bad you had to listen to that rubbish, man. That was a terrible breakdown, wasn't it?
That was
terrible. But I bet. I've seen your facial expressions. All right, but anyway, Errol Spence. I've been riding with him. He's my favorite active fighter. Okay, and over the last 2 years, just watching him, he's very exciting. I was 99% sure, 100% sure he was going to win this fight until I seen him in the interview. He looks drained. I mean, he looks really drained, and I was shocked to see that. I thought Brook was going to be the one that looked like that, and I mean, that's not going to be the determinant. You know, that's not going to be the deciding factor. But I mean, it plays a part. They're both skilled. I think they're both pretty evenly matched. I watched that Sean Porter Kell Brook fight last night, and man, watching Sean Porter fight him made
90 seconds.
Skills. He really touched him up. He held him when he had to hold him. He ain't gonna be able to fight Errol Spence like that. Errol Spence is I think he's gonna take it to him. I think it's gonna be
Billy, you already know, drive-by show. Jesse Richmond, talk to us.
60 seconds.
Y'all forgot about me, man. Can you hear me?
We hear you, brother. Your clock is ticking, and you got a lot of callers. That's all, brother. We're going down the line. We didn't forget about anybody. We're Jesse in Richmond, California. Talk to me.
Yo, I'm just excited to see the fight, man. Honestly, there's too much to touch on. I don't have enough time. I'm excited to see it. I do feel like it's closer to being evenly matched. I was surprised how big Kell Brook looked beside old boy, man. Had a brain fart, sorry. But yeah, he did. I do agree with the last caller. He did look a little drained, man, in the face. I was like, man, he did look kind of emaciated. So it'll be interesting either way, man. Don't sleep on Brook. I mean, you know, he might pull it off. Cut it.
10 seconds.
Thanks for calling in, brother. Marcus in DC, go.
Yo, real quick, everybody says Spence is a hype job. And for a minute there, I thought Brook might beat him. But after talking to him and listening to him, he doesn't believe he's the next hot thing. So he puts in the work like he's a bum. I don't know if the body punching becomes effective. If Kell Brook boxes like Bernard did Trinidad and Sugar Ray did Hagler and let Errol Spence not know he's adding up rounds, then that's the only way Brook can win. I still got Spence in late stoppage or unanimous decision. I'm out.
Marcus, thanks for calling in. Damn, Matt, it's over. It is over. Final thoughts, bro. It's a big show, man. A lot of people. Yeah, you want to fix your audio there, buddy? Maybe you want to. Yeah, can I hear you? Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you.
Thank you. I think that this fight's massive. I think that this fight could potentially be a historic fight. I really do think that, especially if Spence goes out there and dominates him in any fashion and goes on a run. This is the fight we're going to look back on and go, that's the beginning of Spence's run. If that doesn't happen, I don't know if this fight's going to have the same significance, but it's still a great fight. I think this fight could potentially be better than Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. And I think the winner of this fight is potentially going to be maybe the better fighter out of those current crop of welterweights. I'm hyped. I'm pumped. I'm going Kell Brook. That's what my head's telling me. My heart's telling me go Spence. But my head's telling me Kell Brook's a little bit better and a little bit key in some key categories. Can't wait to watch it on Showtime. Can't wait to do the immediate reaction show afterwards. So tune into that YouTube / The Boxing Voice. And you can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram. My MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Peace.
Yeah, for me, his run started a little earlier. It's funny that people question his chin because I feel like he's been in with some punchers. LaGreco may not be the most skilled, but he was a puncher. Ronald Cruz, same thing. He was a puncher. He won his fights by punching. And the ones that he lost was to boxers. And like you said, together, if he can get this Brook win, that resume starts to look a lot better. Algieri starts to look better and everything else. But all that has to wait till Saturday. But let's not forget that there are so many people calling in mentioning, whether or not one guy looks drawn or weight drained or his face is thin or this, that, and the other. So what we're going to do is we're obviously going to be bringing you an immediate weigh-in show. If it matters, right? We're all going to watch the weigh-in, and if the speculation gets even higher, then I guess we'll be here to do that. We'll also try and get that legacy show out. And we got some TBB overtime in a few minutes. So just head on over to Patreon for all our patrons, and we're going overtime over there to talk a few topics at hand. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this now, it doesn't matter. In the future, present or past, hit that thumbs up button. Share this on your social media. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the place to call. This is the voice of the people. And we are here every Thursday and Sunday. But if you subscribe to this channel, you will quickly see that we do shows about every single day. This is the ESPN of boxing. We got to go.